He's in the River Valley.
Quality and consistency is what keeps bringing our customers back. But most importantly, it's the customer service that matters the most to us.
My ride looks brand new.
JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. Our temperatures this afternoon into the upper 60s north, mid-70s south. Showers with some thunderstorms increasing tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid-50s. Saturday, a chance of some scattered showers. Our high temperatures right around 65. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Another 3-2 pitch is on the way to Peyton Stovall. Swung on, hit high in the air, deep right field. That one's going to go onto the roof of the Hunk Center for a grand slam.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir. And welcome into a Fast Break Friday edition of the Morning Rush. I should say Fastball Friday. Peyton Stovall heading into that at-bat was 1 for his last 14, and it hit a grand salami to right field. It was about to be 2-0 Arkansas Razorbacks, but instead it looked like a walk was called a strike. Peyton got another chance and sent one to right center. Kind of glad the ump called it a ball or called it a strike instead of a ball, because it added a couple runs for you. That was one of the key pivotal plays for the Arkansas baseball team last night. Jace Borfin also went yard in the 7th. Or I guess that would have been the 8th. And there were some big-time plays throughout it. You had a great play throughout the game, and you also had Grimes throwing out a guy at home in the 8th inning as well. Big win for this Arkansas baseball team. You had lost 4 straight hitting into that one, and you got a good one against the Aggies last night, Tommy.
Fastball Friday, always brought to you by QC Kinetics. You can live life to the fullest, just like a lot of your friends and neighbors in Northwest Arkansas that have been to QC Kinetics to get their knees, their back, their hip, their shoulders feeling much better. I can tell you from personal experience, my shoulder on my left side, couldn't hardly sleep on it, and after the treatments at QC Kinetics, I don't even give it a second thought now. QC Kinetics concentrates high, impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. Hey, they got appointments available next week for a complimentary consultation to explain the whole process. 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234. Yeah, it was a fun night. I was at the ballpark last night, and Stovall is obviously a big moment when you hit a grand slam, but it was a fun night last night, but it was kind of a typical Razorback game. You get a little bit of a lead, then you give it up, and you have a lot of anxiety and worry for several innings, and in the late innings, they did what they had to do. I thought with some great defensive play. You mentioned Grimes. I thought Smith pitching his way out of a lead-off, getting a runner to third with no outs in the 7th was a huge play. And you mentioned the plays in the 8th, and Arkansas does what they have to do to win Game 1 of this critical SEC series.
Smith comes in the 6th, shuts the team out, only gives up 2 hits. Loved what I saw from Hagen Smith last night. Burke and Tom Hart, were kind of surprised, as I was, when they brought him in when it was tied at 5. Dylan Carter, we found out, has some arm soreness that Dave was talking about after the game, so there was reason and rationale behind that. But Hagen Smith is a dude, and he came in and showed you exactly why last night in a big game one. He shut it down, and Arkansas got some timely hitting that you haven't necessarily got in the past 4 games. Here's Dave Van Horn on the big win last night.
It was a big win for us. I mean, you look at the lineup, there's a lot of names people don't recognize too much. You know, they haven't played a lot, and they played good. They played just good enough. But it was a big win for us. Just, you know, it's hard losing in league. It's hard losing, you know, the way we lost in game 3 over there with a 4-run lead. Didn't get an out, and they beat us. And tonight to have it kind of flip and go our way, it was big for our team.
Tommy, for all the luck that's gone against you the last few games, you finally got some luck to go your way last night.
Well, you know, or do they create their own luck last night? I thought the the pitching from Smith, like I just referenced a minute ago, kind of set the tone. Grimes makes that great throw. It's a one-hopper to Rowland, who gets the tag on. That play goes to replay. In the ballpark, it was hard to tell, you know, what it was going to be. If you were at home, you probably had a better look, but it didn't take the umpires long to come back with a confirmed call. And it just there was a series of big plays that led up to Borford's home run in the bottom of the 8th, and then Arkansas really didn't have much trouble in the top of the 9th closing it out. So I thought they made their own luck, and last night it was just a series, I thought, of critical plays that Arkansas made.
It's good to see Parker Rowland out there for the game. It was good also to see his bat, because him and John Bolden have not hit the ball well this season, particularly John. And to see them do what they did at the bottom of that order last night, I heard Tom Hart and Burke talking about that on the broadcast. That was big for this baseball team. And I think it was big for their confidence, because you know they're good, and Parker being good behind the plate, John being good in the infield in terms of his defense, but they haven't hit the ball well. So I like to see them from that angle and that perspective actually come through in some hitting situations last night.
Well, John Bolton was huge last night, and there we can debate later on about the work behind the plate and the strike zone, but there was a lot of walks and a lot of strikeouts. It was very erratic last night, let's just say. But John got on base with 3 walks, but I thought the hit he had to begin his at-bats in the game was an infield hit. Pitcher didn't cover the first base bag, and he just legged it out and beat it, and it was that was a big moment, I believe, there in the second inning of the game.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest guys on the team,
Yep.
So if there's a play that's close, there's a good chance that he's going to be able to beat it out last night. Peyton Stovall, as we've talked about. I mean, when you're 1 for 14, you're hoping for anything. And when you see 3 of your teammates on base and the opportunity to get a grand slam, and as I mentioned, there was a chance that he could have just walked and Arkansas would have been up 2-0, but the ump called a strike, and he got another opportunity and sent it yard. That was awesome, and I love that for Peyton because, again, he was struggling at the plate, and for him to send one out, I think was a big, big thing for his confidence heading into not just the rest of the SEC play, but the rest of this series as well.
Well, he had 4 RBIs, but he did go 1 for 5 last night. Struck out twice. I mean, I know a grand slam overshadows it, but you're right. His average has dipped below 300. Still just had the 1 hit last night and didn't draw a walk. So, I mean, statistically at the plate, yes, the 4 RBIs are the difference in the ball game, and you cannot gloss over that because it probably is the play of the game when you just break it all down, because that one swing of the bat won you the ball game. But still, he having some struggles. Still 1 for 5 in the game last night.
Yeah, and to that, but Tommy, I'd flip that on you. I mean, you think about the Georgia series where there was a couple times where he had bases loaded and you didn't do anything with it. And while that's true, you say 1 for 5, that's 200 if you splice it out like that. For him to do that in that situation was critical for this baseball team because, again, you had those situations against Georgia and you didn't convert. And you did last night. And even though that he didn't get a hit the rest of the way, it was that one timely hit that changed the game.
That's right.
And added Arkansas 4 runs in that one at bat.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, but and maybe you're right. Maybe the confidence will spill over into the rest of this weekend and the rest of these series. I mean, when you really break it down, Arkansas wins this game 7-5. But you look at the box score and it's kind of silly in baseball terms when you got 13 strikeouts for Razorback batters and 14 walks. I mean, it was a weird night. Then Arkansas also picks up 9 hits in the ballgame. Got out hit by A&M, but the number that matters is the one to the left, and that's the runs.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting stuff there. All right, off and running here on a Fastball Friday. Brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is their number. They can get you signed up this weekend with free equipment, free installation, free movie channels, and more. It's all this weekend at World of Wireless. They got local crews right here in the River Valley to take care of you, or stop into their store right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling. It's all at World of Wireless.
So we, at the tail end of the show yesterday, told you about Darian Ford, who entered the transfer portal. We didn't really have time to get into it as much as we wanted to, but after a day or so of getting to marinate it, I have some thoughts. I'm sure you have some thoughts, and you're welcome to jump in here this morning via call, via text, and give your opinion on what's going on with an in-state kid. Because here's mine to at least lead us into the break. He got screwed. And I'm going to tell you why coming up. This is an in-state kid. This is a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year, a 2-time state champion. Could have been more, not for COVID. And he wasn't even given a full year to play at Arkansas. The timeline on this is critical. We'll tell you what it was coming up. But this is weird what's going on right now. And again, we'll react to Darian Ford hitting the portal and a lot more on this basketball team coming up. It's a Fastball Friday edition of the Morning Rush.
You're in the middle of Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's the spring sale event at WT Equipment. Save up to $350 on Hustler Turf Raptor Series mowers and up to $750 on select Toro Zero Turn mowers. WT Equipment is one of the largest Hustler dealers in the country with a huge selection in stock. Buy what the pros buy, where the pros buy. Save big or get 0% for 48 months on participating equipment with approved credit. Whether you are upgrading your fleet or looking for the best cut on the cul-de-sac, don't miss the spring sale event at WT Equipment. For more information, visit your local WT dealer or online at WTpromos.com.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barling. What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
810 Billiards and Bowling is fun with an upscale attitude. Join us on Tuesdays for college night. Enjoy entree starting at just $8.10 and bowling and billiards for only $15. Wednesday is trivia night starting at 6:30 and Thursday is karaoke from 7 to 11. Come on in for Arkansas baseball and enjoy $2 drafts on select beers. 810 Billiards and Bowling has the perfect venue located at 5609 Rogers Avenue across from Randall Ford. 810 Billiards and Bowling.
Metal Magic is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop. Metal Magic specializes in paintless dent repair and is locally owned and operated. Got hail damage? At Metal Magic, there is zero out-of-pocket, a free car rental from Enterprise, and a lifetime warranty. So don't delay. Hop on in and get a quote from Metal Magic today. Metal Magic, 479-315-6294.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Woo pig suey, and it's fantastic when people call it. Now, if things aren't going well, sometimes they yell woo pig fooey, and that isn't real good. That's bad luck. Calling hogs, they go sweet.
Slider drilled deep right field. Look at that ball go. You got to get out of here. Orphan with a go-ahead home run in the 8th inning.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
I've been looking forward to talking about this all morning, and it's what's going on with Darian Ford. Now, a lot of you have opinions on that, and I want to hear them. 877-377-6963. We're going to hear from Darian. You're going to hear from me and Tommy as well. Also going to hear from Chuck coming up, Tommy.
Hey, we're brought to you by the Bobby Garland Baby Shad, the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the country. They make it by the millions right here in the great state of Arkansas. So if you want to go out and catch a mess of crappie this weekend, make sure you got the Bobby Garland Baby Shad in your boat because it will help you catch them. You'll find it to be as productive as live bait. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. You know, it's not often we get to break news during our show. A lot of things generally don't unfold before 9 a.m., but yesterday I thought it was interesting news and a turn of events, if you will, Ty, when just after 8 o'clock, Darian Ford says he's entering the transfer portal when, what was it, 10 days ago, he's on a horse heading to Fayetteville.
Yeah, on April the 9th, he announced that he was returning to Fayetteville, Arkansas. And I went back and double-checked. Arkansas Basketball retweeted the announcement. You can make of that what you will. And then yesterday, a little after 8 o'clock, he talked about Razorback Nation. I would like to start by giving all the honor and glory to God for this incredible opportunity. Thank the fans. Thank the coaches. Talked about how Arkansas will always have a special place in his heart. Now, guys, this isn't just some bum. This isn't a walk-on. This is again, two-time state champion, a two-time Arkansas player of the year. Actually, might be a three-time state champion. I need to double-check on that. And he was a McDonald's All-American nominee. Now, he wasn't a McDonald's All-American like Nick, AB, and Jordan, but he was at least a nominee. And to be clear, you sent him packing. And not you, the fan base, but the Arkansas basketball program. That may sound unfair. That may sound harsh, but that's the reality of what happened. This kid wanted to stay in Fayetteville. He absolutely did. And got a chance to listen to him earlier in Little Rock Media this week. And here was his mindset on with guys coming in through the transfer portal.
I feel that the players coming in or whoever doesn't come in, if we had a saying, that we're just going to have to see, like, who's going to outwork each other, and we're going to compete. And I'm ready to do that every day because I know the expectations that we have to have from last year. You know, that wasn't the expectation that we wanted to meet. So you have to compete every day, and I want to outwork everybody. And so that's the mindset that I have to come in with.
That was on Wednesday, earlier this week, and that does not sound like a guy that is about to enter the transfer portal. Now, he could have had a change of heart. We don't know 100% the backstory, but it's in my opinion that he was pushed out of the Arkansas basketball program.
Just to put that in context, that's less than 24 hours from when we got the announcement yesterday morning on Thursday morning. Just to drive that point home. When he said those words, that was less than 24 hours before he put himself into the portal.
Great perspective, Tommy. Great perspective.
So what changed? What happened?
That's a great – and you and I had the exact same thought during a break when Darian made that announcement when I showed you that news tidbit. Either Jordan or Devo told Coach they're coming back, or there's a silent commit or something in the portal that hasn't been announced just yet. We're going to get some news and information, I think, in the next week or so about some timeline that's changed or something else that's going on. But that's how you and I took it on Thursday when this went down.
I think if we didn't live in a world of transfer portal, obviously, this news isn't happening the way it is. I just think that the day of a kid coming to your school and staying 4 years is highly unlikely. I'd like to study this a year or two from now over a 4-year period, because you need one since the portal has been brought into existence, and find out what percentage of players actually make it 4 years at one institution. I bet it's going to be surprisingly low. But when I read the reactions on Twitter and other social media places, particularly if you go to his tweet and read just the comments, it's clear that I think there's a good percentage of the fan base, they don't like this because this is one of our own. This is an in-state kid. His dream was to play and be a Razorback. And, for some, I think they're picking up on the same thing we have. And, hey, has that been taken away from him? And, Ty, is it fair? Is it fair what's happened to Darian Ford?
This has to be to the answer. Some will say, oh, the harsh reality is life's not fair. Welcome to the real world. Other will say, well, he's an Arkansas kid. He doesn't deserve that. But you mentioned just the angle of how crushing it is for Darian Ford. Not just Darian, his family, the entire Magnolia community who loved watching that kid in a Razorback uniform. It's not like he played a lot this season. I mean, he really didn't. But he, if I had to guess based on the conversation, wanted to be a Razorback his entire life. And here's the other thing that needs to be said on this. Y'all, he didn't take an official visit anywhere else. I looked at his recruiting timeline yesterday, and he got offered other places, but I was kind of curious. It's like, where else did he go? I don't remember this. Y'all, he did not take an official visit to any other college campus in the United States of America officially. Now, it could have been unofficially, but it wasn't dotted down. It wasn't added to the list. Did not explore another college officially during his entire recruiting process. Guy had like 14, 18 scholarship offers. Did not look at a single other place realistically. Not a single one. The only one that he went up and visited officially on his recruiting was the University of Arkansas. The only one. And this is a kid that was highly coveted, top 100 kid, a McDonald's All-American nominee, and did not look at a single other school significantly at all. That should tick you off because it's ticking me off.
So when you think about the job that Eric Musselman has and what you're, the conclusion you've drawn, it sounds like, is that, he was cut. He was cut from the team yesterday. After announcing he's coming back, after him and the school we're clearly on the same page. Something's happened, and now he's, no longer a part of the roster. But what is Eric Musselman's obligation? What's the standard of the expectation fans hold him to? Is it, I think it's to get to a Final Four, to return this program to glory. I mean, what kind of restrictions should the head coach at Arkansas or anywhere else be kind of either officially or unofficially put on? I think we can dive into a lot of that this morning because that's, to me, where the rubber meets the road is, all right, you want your coach to get you to Final Four, but how do you want him to go about it? So I think we got a lot to dive into. We want to hear your thoughts as well this morning. Hey, a great business website's just the start to being able to transact business online and also just bring new customers in your front door. Oftentimes, the website is the first impression your business will make, whether you sell products online or not, or you just tell people about the product or service you have. Our friends at Modular Orange can create for you in just a couple of weeks a great-looking website. They'll not ask you for one dime up front. You'll only pay after you're happy, and then you just pay $95 a month, and that's turnkey, and it's everything. I can give you plenty of referrals and recommendations, but you can see them for yourself at modularorange.com or call 755-3043 and get started.
You're in the middle of Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas. In-office or telemedicine visits available to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors. Call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road. Top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
50% off. That's right, 50% off starting April the 1st at Bankroll Furniture. A one-time offer for the month of April. 50% off all in-stock sofa, love seats, sectionals, and recliners. We need to move it quick due to truckloads coming. This sectional $21.99, now $1,100. Sofa love $23.19, now $11.60. This recliner $451, now $226. Main USA cash and carry furniture sale. Get it while it lasts. Bankroll Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Davis Floor Covering. Are you ready to update your home or office and get it looking its best? Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, tile, stone, or luxury vinyl plank, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs. With the best brands such as Bella Sarah Hardwood and JP Mathis Vinyl Plank Flooring. And we even do countertops, so come on in and let's get started. Davis Floor Covering, 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Or call us, 479-452-4808.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Metal Magic is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop. Metal Magic specializes in paintless dent repair and is locally owned and operated. Got hail damage? At Metal Magic, there's 0 out-of-pocket, a free car rental from Enterprise, and a lifetime warranty. So don't delay. Hop on in and get a quote from Metal Magic today. Metal Magic, 479-315-6294.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Court rushing and field rushing has become much more the rule than the exception because everybody wants to see it on ESPN, and that's the first thing they show when SportsCenter comes on that night. And I realize in this era of trash talk that this is not a fashionable thing to say, but it's still all right to win with class and lose with dignity.
You know, I know what's your beef Wednesday was 2 days earlier, but I'm pretty angry this morning, as you heard me in the last minute. We're going to get more into this Darian Ford stuff with Chuck, but before we bring Chuck into the conversation, I want to hear from you. We've got 10-plus texts already on this Darian Ford saga, because it is a saga, and it's a big deal. And while the baseball team got it done last night, the bigger story this morning is what's going on with that Arkansas basketball program. We'll come back to it coming up.
We're brought to you by QC Kinetics. You can live life to the fullest, and you hear me talking about it every Friday here on the Morning Rush, and you hear me talking about it all the time, but it's easier said than done when you got pain to enjoy the things you like, whether it's going to the ball game last night or maybe golf or fishing this weekend. If you've got pain in your shoulder, your back, your knees, your hips, and it's keeping you from the things you love, it's time to go to QC Kinetics, because I bet your doctor said, well, here's 3 more months of pain pills or surgery or downtime is what you're facing. With QC Kinetics, they can get you back to the things you love with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Get started today with a complimentary consultation. They can see you next week, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234.
Just to put it in very simple terms, the rug got pulled out from the legs of Darian Ford. Guys, this is a 2-time Arkansas State Player of the Year and a top 100 kid, and you treated him like he was a walk-on. Let's get to some texts. Tommy, this is from Sam in Fayetteville. He feels like Ford got pushed out. Seems like a genuine guy, and he doesn't see Darian Ford saying what he said earlier this week in Little Rock, and then less than 24 hours later deciding it's a good idea to hit the portal.
I don't think Darian Ford lied to the people of Arkansas. I don't think he lied to the fans when he said he's coming back and only had other intentions. I think we can all agree that he was pushed out. Now the debate we may have this morning is it fair what's happened? What's the job of the head coach? I think that's the conversation that people are trying to have with themselves and around their water coolers today.
Jason from Mountain View. I don't like Ford leaving. I would love to see him develop as a Hog. Guys, he didn't even get a year to develop. Some college kids, it takes them a couple years. Some guys are ready to go as true freshmen, but it's not exactly a proven formula to be able to do that. There's no, this is how a freshman converts completely from high school and AAU and EYBL to college basketball. It doesn't always work like that. And Darian wasn't one of those first freshman guys. He's good to go, and he didn't get time to develop, Tommy.
No, and but would we feel the same way if this player had been one of the out-of-state players?
No.
Would we have this same response?
No.
Well,
you don't need to. It goes back to this. This is what is it? Is it the University of Arkansas or is it the United States University? This is the University of Arkansas. This is a state-funded school. Kids in this state, there are more out-of-state kids that go to
once
Arkansas.
Once a Razorback, always a Razorback. I thought once we brought them in, they were one of us.
Well,
what's the difference?
Apparently not. Apparently it's not the same. Y'all, this is a in-state school, and I can say this because I went to school there. There's more Texas kids than Arkansas kids that go to school, and there's that 90% in-state scholarship they get for being a bordering state. It's not just them, it's others. The priority of the in-state school needs to be your in-state kids, even though they might have the grades might be not as good. They might not look as promising. I guarantee you, whether it's athletically or academically, they have always had their eyes set on the University of Arkansas. You can't say that about every kid that ends up in Fayetteville, athletically or academically. So that's why I'm mad this morning. Because as an Arkansas guy, it's our own kin. Like that's, and if you want to take this, I mean, I think people understand that as Arkansans. You don't have to live here now, but if you were born and raised in this state, you don't even have to be born in this state. But if you grew up in this state, you understand the anger and the frustration where I'm at this morning.
Chuck Barrett hops in here with us now. Chuck, what's your take on what's unfolded in the last, I don't know, 22 hours or so with Darian Ford?
How do you feel about all this, Ty?
I'm not even getting started yet, Chuck. I'm not even. It is.
Right.
It's 6:30. I'm not even getting started yet.
Right.
I hope someone's more angry than me because I hope I didn't blow this over. I hope I just set the tone for the next 2.5 hours.
Well, this is, and I said this last night. 95% of the things that go on in college sports are great. There's 4 or 5% out there that you look at and go, man, I really hate this. This is a product of the portal. This is the part that you look at and it kind of makes you cringe a little bit. I think the world of Darian Ford, and the one thing that I'll say is that wherever he goes, he's going to do fine. I have no doubt about that. He's going to have a good life. He's going to have a successful life. I understand people within our state being troubled by this. I get that. A lot of the points that you've brought up, Ty, and you brought up, Tommy, I've heard from different people, almost identical sentiments the last 24 hours. And I just heard the soundbite that you played a minute ago or earlier this hour, I guess. And it's obvious that if he was planning to leave, he disguised it pretty well. So, while we're not privy to the conversations that went on, obviously he's not going to be here. And I get it all. I get every reaction that people have to this. It's a big money business now, man. It's a big money business.
Yep.
And your job's to win. Having said that, I'm from Arkansas, and I know what it's like when someone from a small town goes and plays for the Razorbacks. The whole town goes with them. The whole town goes with them. If they're not there, they're hanging on every little thing that happens. It's the conversation in the coffee shop. It's the conversation in the teacher's lounge at school. It's the conversation everywhere you go. The line at the grocery store. So I get that part. And when a kid from Arkansas plays for the Razorbacks, it is special. And I'm always reminded of what Coach Hatfield said years ago, that all things being equal, a kid from Arkansas will give you everything he's got. He'll give you his whole heart, and when you've got their whole heart, they'll give you everything. But I also know this, the game has changed. It's not like it used to be. And the portal giveth and taketh, and the portal brings you to points where you think, man, I can't believe we've got this great player on our team now. But it also takes you to the point where we are now, where it's like, man, I really hate that one of our in-state kids is not going to be part of this.
And that's the whole deal.
Go
It's an
ahead.
in-state
Go
kid.
ahead. I can ramble on sometimes.
Well,
I know.
Because no one had this reaction when Barry Dunning was cut from the team, and it was
No,
obvious
you're
he
right.
wasn't going.
You're right.
And he was a
You're
Gatorade
right.
Player of the Year in Alabama. No one came back and said, "Man, this is unfair. This is not right." This is because he was from Alabama, and there's clearly because we want to root for our own. But a basketball coach's job is to win titles and championships and get you to Final Fours, and he's only got 13 precious scholarship spots on his team. And if he thinks he can upgrade, what do we want him to do? Stick with the player that's not as good as the one that's available in the portal that wants to come here because he's not from Arkansas? What do you want Eric Musselman to do? You pay him a lot of money to win, and he needs to be able to do what he's got to do to win.
I don't disagree with that. Nor do I disagree when people say that, he is one of ours. And it is upsetting when you see this happen to someone that people within our state consider to be one of ours. So I can I hear both sides on this. I really do. I hear both sides on this. But the bottom line is that, you got to win games. Well, I mean, that's the deal. I mean, coaches get fired for not winning games, and you've got to, you've got to put your roster together toward that end. And I hear you, Ty. I do. But I also understand what Tommy's saying too.
I grew up playing Magnolia in high school, and I guess that would have been middle school to a certain extent, and that's where he's from. He, like Nick, elected to stay in-state and win championships in-state. And there's nothing – listen, I don't want to belittle anyone going to an academy because I think it worked out well for Moses Moody going to Montford. There's been other situations in-state where kid like Layden Blocker, he goes to Sunrise in Wichita. There's situations like that work. But – and there's a but there. When a kid decides to go in-state, when he's been offered or there at least been looks to go to an academy, and then, in addition to staying in-state, decides to go to the in-state university as well, that means a little more to fans. And, Tommy, you made some valid points. It is Eric Musselman's job to win. It's hard to – I would be an idiot. I would not be taken seriously on Arkansas Sports Talk Radio if I tried to refute that in any way. But why couldn't Darian help you win? And Muss sees these guys. I'll say this. Muss sees these guys more than we do. And it's not Muss. It's the entire coaching staff. We see little glimpses in games. We see little glimpses of practice we get to see. So is there that validation as well. But, guys, these Arkansas kids in any sport, I've talked to Matt Jones about this several times, they give you a little more. They're not as talented in every case. But these kids that grow up from the day they were born with a Razorback on their chest give you a little bit extra, just a little bit. Again, the talent's not always there, but Darren had talent. I mean, he's not a chump. He's a two-time state champion, player of the year and all that. It frustrates me when I see something like this happen. And I understand why people in Magnolia are ticked, why Darren's family's probably mad, and why Darren's probably heartbroken as of yesterday morning.
Well, and that's what makes the 94 championship even sweeter. Who was the central piece of that? Corliss Williamson. Where was he from? Right near your hometown, Chuck. In Clarksville. He was down the road in Russellville. Centrally low. Everybody took pride in that. It made it a little sweeter. And you'd like to see that story repeat. But the reality is, Darian Ford wasn't going to be the guy that was the difference maker in winning it all, at least not from what we saw this last year. I think that's clearly the conclusion Muss came to sometime in the last few days. Or what we're talking about this morning wouldn't have happened. We'd love for 5 in-state starters to win you a national title. But the reality is that's probably not going to happen, and that's the job of the head coach is not to be emotional, it's to be practical and get the players that can win games for you.
It's a tough task for any head coach because you want to think of yourself as a program that recruits nationally. And when you look at the programs that win national championships in all the sports, they recruit nationally. Their brand is recognized from coast to coast. They can go into any home, anywhere, and have credibility because they have the type program that allows them to recruit nationally. But then at the same time, when you've got a kid from close to home that everybody loves, and he's been a great player, and, I mean, there's a reason why they love him. People pull for that guy. And, that's where the dilemma comes in. And, if Arkansas wins the national championship next year, I'm going to be frank with you. I don't know that anybody's going to say, well,
you're exactly
this
right.
isn't sweet because Darian's not here.
No question.
By the same token, if there are 4 or 5 guys that don't play much next year, I know there are going to be people that are going to say, well, Darian could be doing that. So, that's the tough spot. You're expected to recruit nationally, but at the same time, you're expected to take care of your kids in state. So I'm not sure what the answer is there. And there are just going to be bad moments. There are just going to be bad moments, and this is one of them.
Yeah, and that makes me wonder, does that put Muss or any coach at the university in a spot where all things equal, you maybe don't go with the in-state kid, because when things like this happen, there's no blowback. Barry Dunning leaves. We don't even discuss it for more than about a segment. In-state kid leaves, and, man, we're going to spend 3 hours on it this morning. So, I mean, that – and the state's talking. We're not the only ones talking about this. The state's talking about this morning. Does that make a head coach maybe pause a little bit and, hey, all things equal, maybe the out-of-state kid's a better choice for me?
Name a great Arkansas team in football, baseball, and basketball that was not comprised with in-state kids. You cannot do it in a single team in the history of Razorback sports. You can't do it because you need in-state kids to have success in any of these programs.
Times have changed. Times have changed. Portal has changed.
The portal has changed things to a certain extent. But and I'm not saying you get every in-state kid. Arkansas has recruited nationally. It's great. And I know Nolan recruited regionally. A lot Memphis, Tulsa in some areas.
Well, he recruited nationally too.
Yeah, you got kids from California as well. But you still have to have in-state kids in football, basketball, and baseball if you're going to have any success at Arkansas. That has not changed. That will never change, ever.
I'd argue it could be different in basketball because there's only 13 spots.
I think there are exceptions to the rule, but I do think that, Ty's right. When you look back at our history, there are certainly a lot of Arkansas players on our greatest teams. Now, we operated without the portal then. It was it was a different deal then. So that history could be a little bit skewed. I guess we'll find out moving forward. We're not the only ones that deal with this. We're not the only team that, kids grow up wanting to play for. And, if a player gets cut here, players are getting cut other places too. And so this is the dilemma that a lot of guys face. But, the portal, you can't talk out of one side of your mouth and say the portal's where it's at, and then talk out of the other side of your mouth and say, but we got to protect our in-state kids. It's a tough one. But ultimately the head coach's charge is to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the portal puts people on the move, Chuck. There's no question about that. And when you're needing to move, you need a professional to help get you to your new location.
And that brings us to Walker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you're a buyer or a seller, I want to recommend them. I partnered with them, I guess would be the better way to put it, because they certainly took care of me as both a buyer and a seller. First time I bought a home, I didn't know what was going on. They did, and that's good because they walked me through the process. Then the time came to sell the home. And once again, I didn't really know what I was doing. And they once again did. And what I learned was there's a difference between getting a contract signed and actually having the closing papers signed. Lots of things can happen if you're the seller between the contract and the close. Things can happen if you're the buyer, too. That's why you need a pro on your side of the table. They were very good to me, and I think that'll be your experience as well. Now, Walker Realtors, the Griffin Company, has got an office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, Branson, Missouri. And you can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
Don in Rogers wants to jump in on this conversation on Darian Ford. Don, go ahead this morning, man.
Yeah, so I think I side with Ty as much as anybody. I've listened to this program for years. The first time I've called in, and I think what is the obligation of the head coach? Obviously, everyone's going to say it's to win national championships, it's to get the best team on the floor that you can. But it's the honesty and the integrity thing that I think the coach owes everybody. When he's meeting with a kid's family on the recruiting process, he says to them, send your son here, and I'm going to take care of him and all of that. And then he owes the kid honesty at the end of the year. He sits down with Darian and he says, look, I'm bringing in these I don't see you getting much playing time. And Darian, if Darian's sitting there now, I agree with Chuck. We don't know what conversations went on, but it's obvious that he was wanting to come back. And I'm sure Eric had a talk with him and said, look, I'm bringing in all these guards, and I don't know what your playing time is going to be. But if that kid, if we offered him a scholarship, and this goes to Dunning too, it touches closer to home with Darian, of course. But if that kid says, I know, Coach, but I'm going to work hard, I want to stay with the program, and I want to force you to have to look at me and have to play me. I don't think you run that kid out. I think that's unfair. And even if we pass up on some 5-star that's from Duke that's wanting to transfer here, I think the process has to have honesty and integrity. And if you've had that honest conversation with that kid and he says, I still want to be here and I'm going to work hard, this doesn't feel right to me. So I don't really have anything else. I'm sure you guys will talk about it, but I'll hang up and listen.
Don, thanks for calling in for the first time. Tommy, you're shaking your head.
I just want to ask, does Don really mean it when he says if a 5-star from Duke or any other top program, one of the players of the year wants to come to your program, you're going to stick with the unproven in-state kid? Do we really feel that way? Is that really the decision we would want Eric Musselman to make?
I don't know.
Of course not.
I don't know necessarily I can grip with that, but if the conversation went down postseason, we'll get to what Darian said when he talked to the coaches coming up, but if the conversation went down postseason, like whenever they had that sit down and he was like, hey, I'm bringing all these guys, you can stay on if you want, and Darian said yes, and then a couple weeks later it was, hey, you probably need to leave. That's what would rub people the wrong way because, as Don just alluded to, if he said, you know what, Coach, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to force you to play me. Doesn't matter who you bring in. I'm going to force you to play me next season. Here is what he said on his conversations with the coaches on KABZ earlier this week.
We can talk to them anytime that we like to. They always tell, Coach Musk always tells us the door is open. He's going to talk to us about how the season goes. But like you said, they've been in the portal a lot, and they're doing a lot of things right now, so they're kind of ripping and running. But as far as me, I'm in the gym working. So whenever the time comes to talk to us or in the coaching staff, I'll be ready.
That sounds like a kid that was ready to suit up and play at Arkansas this season. And maybe I'm wrong. Okay, we don't know everything behind the scenes. I'm not privy to that information. But that kid didn't sound like he was planning on hitting the portal the day after he had that conversation. The day after. Not even 24 hours, Tommy, as you talked about.
No reasonable person believes Darian Ford made this decision. I don't know how I can't come up with that conclusion. So I don't think that's the argument this morning. I don't think that's the discussion. I don't think there's anyone that believes Darian Ford by himself came to the idea that leaving Arkansas was best for him.
Well, it's caller made some good points. By the same token, kids leave programs every day when you don't want them to leave. Players blindside coaches every day by saying, I'm leaving. Kids you don't want to leave. So there's two sides to this coin. And it is because in this instance it's an in-state kid that we are, frankly, and I say we, I mean it's undeniably conversation among Razorback fans today. There's no question about that, and you can't hide from that. But it's this is the modern era of college basketball, and again, your charge is to win. Your charge is to win. And this is the system we've created for ourselves. I mean, it is. And this is one of the unfortunate byproducts of that.
Everyone argued for more power for the players, more freedom to transfer, NIL, all of the different things. Every coin has two sides. And sometimes the other side of it, like you've described it, is just ugly. And most of the things in college sports are good, but there is an ugly side to it. And we don't like the idea of a player that seems to be giving his heart and soul to the program, an in-state kid being cut. But, the reality is it's just what you said. Players get to make the decision that if they don't like the coach or they don't like the system or they don't like the 4 a.m. workouts or whatever it is, they can take off. Well, there's two sides to all of this. And as you've given more freedom to the players, the system itself creates opportunities for other players to come in to upgrade your roster. And I got to believe that's what we're going to learn here in, some short amount of time is who's going to take this spot on the team.
Well, I got to read this text we got earlier real quick, and we'll come back to this in an hour or two. Brent texting in, is there a possibility of utilizing the portal for development where a guy comes to school, doesn't get to play, leaves, and come back? Now, to my knowledge, it's only happened twice. One because the NCAA screwed up with Sunday Adebayo, and the other with Jimmy Witt, who Anderson and then Musselman. There's two different coaching staffs. I don't know if there's a possibility with Darian there, but that would be something that he was advocating for, is using that portal for development, Tommy.
All right, what do you think about Darian Ford's departure from Arkansas? We'll return to that conversation. We're brought to you by Farm Credit. If you have a loan with a variable to balloon interest rate, it's going to come to term soon, and your payment may have a massive adjustment. Get out in front of it with Farm Credit. They can fix your loan with a fixed interest rate for the life of your loan, and you'll know what your payments are going to be. And if rates go down, they can refinance for you with no application cost, no new appraisal, and no new title work. They just make it simple. It's all at Farm Credit. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
Hour 2, Fastball Friday. We'll talk some baseball coming up.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
The toms are a goblin, and spring turkey season is one of the best times of the year. Gelco Outdoors has all the gear to help you bag that big old long beard. Box calls, pot calls, mouth calls, decoys, camo clothing, vest, chairs, blinds, locator calls, snake boots, gloves, face masks, thermocells, and bug spray. If you need it in the turkey woods, Gelco Outdoors has it for you. Best of luck to all turkey hunters this spring. Shop local. Shop Gelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has two locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. Our temperatures this afternoon into the upper 60s north, mid-70s south. Showers with some thunderstorms increasing tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid-50s. Saturday, a chance of some scattered showers. Our high temperatures right around 65. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Outside is fun again with Mosquito Joe. Mosquito Joe rids your yard of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas so you can enjoy being outside. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Another 3-2 pitch is on the way to Peyton Stovall. Swung on, hit high in the air, deep right field. That one's going to go onto the roof of the Hunk Center for a grand slam.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Hagen Smith was big for this baseball team last night, as was Peyton Stovall, who hit the grand slam. A lot of big moments in a 7-5 victory over Texas A&M. We're going to talk baseball coming up, but that's not the real story this morning. I'll tell you what it is in just a sec.
Fastball Friday is brought to you by QC Kinetics. Live life to the fullest. You hear me talking about this every Friday, but it's easier said than done when you go to the doctor with your joint pain, whether it's in the elbow, the knee, the back, the shoulder, wherever you're hurting. If it's keeping you from doing the things you love and your doctor tells you you're going to have to schedule surgery or you're going to have another shot every 3 months to calm down the inflammation and all the pain in that joint, there's a better way with lasting relief from QC Kinetics using regenerative treatments, harnessing the healing powers from your body to repair that damaged joint tissue that you're living with right now. Live life to the fullest. Call my friends at QC Kinetics for a complimentary consultation. They can probably see you next week. 479-999-1234. No reason to wait any longer. 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
It's Friday. I get you're probably dragging this morning. Maybe you're just waking out of bed. But the story this morning on a Fast Break Friday is actually about basketball, and that's Darian Ford. Got a couple texts on this already. In case you're just hearing this, Darian Ford entered the portal yesterday morning. This is a text from Rowdy in Lincoln. He was a great player and was never given a chance. And that speaks to Musselman's coaching. How could you not make this kid into something great when all he wanted to do is be great for you. Now, Kirk and Marshall takes the opposite view. He says the same people are mad at Muss are the same ones that want him to win a championship based on the unreal expectations here at Arkansas. Brian in Sherwood says, Ty, I hear what you're saying. It's sad, but I'm afraid to be too critical of Muss because I remember how badly we sucked before we got here. Y'all, it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to think Eric Musselman's a great coach. He is. If you don't think he's a great coach, you're an idiot. But you can also have the viewpoint and stand on the side of this doesn't feel right. This is unfair. That's perfectly fine to have on this Friday morning.
Well, if Arkansas, I don't even know where the Final Four, what city it's in next year.
Phoenix.
If it's in, okay, if Chuck, you're calling games for Phoenix in early April next year, I don't think anyone. You said this last hour, and I totally agree. No one's going to say, "Man, this would be even better if Darian Ford was here." And this is all about our love and affection and support for Razorback kids that come from in-state schools. We didn't get 100 texts and a plethora of phone calls and opinions when Barry Dunning left the program. Didn't seem to bother anyone.
Right. You're right.
And I'm about fair. I like fairness. I like being. If we're going to have it one way, we can't change the rules. And I get it. He's one of our own, and we protect and love our own. But this is a business decision, and plain and simple. This is a business decision by the coaching staff. And I'm guessing when we find out who takes this spot on the roster, you hope that decision pans out, works out.
We've had in-state kids before here that didn't get to play a lot, and there were a lot of people that were angry about it. This goes all the way back to when Nolan Richardson was the head coach. It's always a dilemma for a coach at Arkansas, frankly, because, and I'll draw the analogy to football. We listen to Matt Jones every day on Halftime with Phil. Well, I remember what it was like when Matt played. And, it was just a circus around him. And part of that was because he was an in-state kid. I know that our love for Devo has a lot to do with the fact that he's an in-state kid. Now, part of that has to do with the fact he's been here a while. And we've watched him grow up. We've sort of, lived with him as he's grown up. And that makes it even more special. I get that there are people within our state that are upset. I get that. I said this in the last hour, and it's so true. When a kid from a small town in Arkansas goes to play for the Razorbacks, the whole town comes with him. Every cousin, every neighbor, every preacher, every classmate, every teacher, every single one of them comes with him. And you got to deal with a lot of those folks. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth. If you're the head coach, some of them are not shy at all about picking up that phone and telling you exactly what they think. And they feel a little more free to do it because they're in state. They do. But at the end of the day, it is a delicate balance for whoever the Razorback coach is in whatever sport it is. Because if there's an in-state kid that, particularly one like Darian, that's a great kid and has won championships, they're going to expect him to do it at Arkansas. And sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. I'll say what I said the first hour. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I'm sure Darian Ford's as quality a young man as you could ever hope to find. And I'm sure wherever he goes, he'll have success. And, these coaches are human beings too, not just here but everywhere else. I've been around Muss. I don't think Muss is a cold, uncaring person. I don't think this is a decision that was arrived at lightly. I don't think any time a coach makes a decision like this, it's arrived at lightly. So it's, this is one of the bad parts of it all. This is one of the bad parts of the portal, is that sometimes it affects people right in your own backyard.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to remove emotion. And this is an emotional conversation for most of us this morning. But as I said a second ago, this is a business decision. Muss's task, his job, he's being paid, $4 million a year plus to get this team to a Final Four. It's not just for the job. It's what he wants to do professionally and personally.
It's what we demand. It's what we're demanding. Let's be honest. It's what we're demanding.
But Sam Pittman has 85 scholarship players. It's the nature of that sport. In this sport, you got 13. The margin for error in any one of those 13 spots is vastly different than any other sport, just because of the numbers on your team. So everything takes overanalyzation. Everything takes more scrutiny. And you're only going to play 7 or 8 of those guys significant minutes when the games really count. So all of these decisions have to be looked at by this coaching staff in a much brighter light than the other sports. And it's just the nature of this business in basketball.
Well, one thing that I think is important to say again is we don't know we weren't privy to these conversations. I don't know what was said there. None of us know what was said there. Mm-hmm. The ultimate result is that Darian Ford has entered the transfer portal. That's the ultimate result. That's what we know. But we don't know that, he was he cut? Was he told, hey, man, you can stay, but you're not going to play? We don't know that. We just don't know the nature of that conversation. But the bottom line is he's not going to be here. And I know for a lot of people in our state, and Ty, I've listened to you this morning, and I have heard similar sentiments from a lot of people in the last 24 hours. And so I'm not discounting it at all.
Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. The 45th anniversary celebration is going on right now through May the 8th. Big savings on semi-in-ground pools with packages up to $5,000 off during this big sale. There's even time to get an in-ground pool this month and be swimming this summer. In fact, they've got construction start dates available in May and June, so you can swim this summer and they can have your pool installed in time for your kids and your family to really enjoy it this year. They're celebrating 45 years at Burton Pools and Spas. Don't miss out on the savings. That's Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. They build more than pools. They build long-term relationships. Find out more at burtonpools.com.
We'll get to our Morning Rush Daily question coming up, talking about still Darian Ford.
You're in the middle of Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Wrath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke Mile service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Wrath. Wrath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas baseball game this season. During every Hog baseball game, you'll get $2 domestics at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. For to-go orders, give them a call at 479-783-9941. Find their menu at papaspub.com. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
I don't want to sell the baseball team short. They got a big 7-5 win last night. We're going to have Chris Burke coming on, who was on call for that game at 8 o'clock this morning. Guys, you think about 4 straight losses for them to do what they did last night, especially knotted up at 5-all in the 8th. Big last 2 innings for this Arkansas baseball team.
No doubt about it. I mean, Smith got out of that, he had that runner at third, I guess, in the 7th inning and got out of that. They threw a guy out at the plate in the top of the 8th, and Borfin hit the home run in the bottom of the 8th, and it's a good win. They needed it badly.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the show, I thought that moment where the leadoff guy's at third with no outs and Smith pitches his way out of it, that's when I thought they're going to win this game. I mean, those are the kind of plays and the kind of moments you get yourself out of, and I thought that was maybe, the throw, the home run, all those, of course, add up. But I thought that was just a huge moment for that pitching staff and for Smith.
Let's get back to business. All right. I'm troubled with what's going on with Darian Ford. I want you to listen to him on KBZ earlier this week talking about him returning to Arkansas.
It's a challenge. I just take a day at a time. You never know. Like this year, I was here. Lord say the same this year I'll be here, but Lord never knows what will happen in the next 2 years. So I just try to take a day at a time and live in a moment. I've started to learn that more. I want to live in a moment because you never know how fast life can take you away. So I'm just trying to enjoy the day today. So when I get in that gym, I know, like you just said, today Much is probably saying, okay, dear, you're going to get this certain amount of minutes. Let me put in some work.
Chuck, you made a good point. We don't know 100% what went down behind closed doors. We're not privy to that information. But if I'm reading between the lines, if I'm inferring what happened, he was pushed out. He was told to leave. That's my opinion. It doesn't have to be anyone else's on that show this morning. It's just mine. So the question is, based on that, are you okay with the kid from Arkansas who's had a goal and a mindset to be his Razorback for the majority of his life? Are you okay with him being cut? And then the additional question to that becomes, how is that going to affect high school recruiting? Because I guarantee you, if you picked up the phone and called your local high school coach that saw this went down, or Magnolia's coach, or whatever the case may be, they're probably not happy about this. Arkansas's got, I think, 3 4-stars in the next 2 years in the 2 classes. Guys from Benton, Parkview, and I think Boatain's from Central as well. So there's some good players in the state the next coming years. This was not his decision to leave, in my opinion. It wasn't. Plain and simple. And now we're sitting here on a Friday morning reacting to this because this is, again, the in-state school for Arkansas students. Darian's an in-state kid. He wanted to be here. There's no guarantee he wouldn't have gotten better because I guarantee you, based on all the what we've heard about him, hard work's not an issue. Him putting the effort's not an issue. We don't know what he could have become in year 2. We really don't. And we're not going to find out now.
Well, there's certainly a lot to unpack on this. I know people are frustrated by some of this. Some people are frustrated by some of this. This is not uncharted waters. We've been here before. This goes all the way back to when Coach Richardson was here, just to be honest with you. I mean, we've had in-state kids that have come in before, and they've not played as much as people thought they would. And but now, to go to your question about affecting in-state recruiting, I don't think any kid that's grown up in Arkansas, loving the Razorbacks, wanting to play for the Razorbacks, and with the ability to play for the Razorbacks, I don't think any of those kids are going to have a second thought about coming to Fayetteville. I don't think that's going to be the end result of this. I think this is unpleasant, and I know that there are some people who are hacked off about it. I get that. But I also know that people would be even more hacked off if Darian Ford stayed on this team and they didn't win as many games as they thought they ought to next year. I mean, let's just be honest about that. And these coaches now are being paid millions and millions of dollars, and they're expected to win every game. You expect them to win every game, and that's their charge, and that's what they have to do. And the transfer portal has created a system that I don't think anybody believes is perfect. Yeah. You love it when it benefits you, and you hate it when it doesn't. That's kind of where we are today.
The old saying, the enemy of great is good. And what you're trying to do is turn this program from really good into great. And I think anyone with a decent standard on college basketball would say this is not a great program yet, but we think it can be. I think if we're honest, Darian Ford is a really good player. But when you compare him to the elites, he wasn't one of the elites just not on this team, but not in college basketball. And Muss's job is to get the greatest players he can get in college basketball. The enemy of great is good, and you can't.
See, I think they're already great. I think they're already great.
Well,
I think they're already great. I mean, back-to-back Elite Eights and a Sweet 16. I think that qualifies. But
we're not satisfied with that.
No, we're not. But the point is that, wanting to play for the Razorbacks and being a great player, there's a difference between that and being the type player that can get you to an Elite Eight or a Sweet 16. Those are hard to get to. And as the listener pointed out in a text a little bit earlier, it's not been that long ago that we found out the hard way that those things are not givens. So we'll see.
Here's
well, no, I'm not going to go so far as to say they sucked because they didn't. They just weren't as good as everybody wanted them to be.
Tommy, here's what I'll say before we get to some calls. I agree with one of your points. I don't think we're great yet. I think we're good. To the second point, though, about Darian not being the creme de la creme or whatever, he's a true freshman. Who knows what he could have been as a junior, sophomore, senior. We're never going to find out in an Arkansas uniform. And I hope he tie stories us. I hope he goes to another school that has Arkansas on the schedule. I hope he goes to another school and drops 40 on Arkansas.
Get out of here.
No, I'm not advocating for much. Listen, that was a different situation. I hope he ties stories. I hope he goes to another school and drops 40 on us.
Some other program. You're saying if he goes to another program on game day, you're going to come on the air that morning and say, I hope Darian Ford drops 40 on
I'm saying
tonight.
it now,
You're
Chuck.
not gonna do that.
I'm saying it now. I'm not saying it then. I'm saying it now. Big difference.
He may
Big
not
difference.
tie story. He may tie Richardson us, but he's not going to tie Story. But all right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge is in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Baxter Health. Compassionate care beyond measure.
All right, we got plenty of calls that have piled up. You can't get over that.
Go to the phones.
Yeah.
Go to the phones.
Nelson's in Harrison. Nelson, good morning.
Hey guys, I want to congratulate the baseball team first, and you guys all have great points on the Darian Ford thing, but Ty, you cannot be mad about this. Just look at Chance Moore's situation last year. He didn't play a lick. He went to Missouri State, and he had 13 points a game. I mean, the kid wasn't going to get seen in Arkansas. Darian Ford ain't going to get seen in Arkansas. You think Derek Fisher, if he went to Arkansas, he would have made the league? You think Scottie Pippen, if he went to Arkansas, he would have made the league? I mean, you got to think about these kids' futures, too. I mean, it'd be okay to be selfish, for us to be selfish and us to be selfish and say, hey, keep him on the team, keep him on the bench. You know? But Darian Ford's right, dude. This ain't the end. This is the beginning. So, I know it's easy to be mad and easy to be like, that's an Arkansas kid, but this is an opportunity for Darren to say, hey, I'm going somewhere where I can be seen. So, that being said, guys, are you with me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm listening,
Yeah.
Nelson.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I'm glad because I watched that deal with Clay Henry with Dan Enos. I'm so glad that KJ decided to come back, and he's going to get to be under Dan Enos. Do you realize we've had Tyler Wilson, Ryan Mallett, other quarterbacks, and Dan Enos is the only one with the quarterback in the league? Brandon Allen. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not where you're. It's all about where you're at and the time you're in. Those guys were great quarterbacks, but I really think that Dan Enos helped Brandon Allen through his fundamentals and everything. So, guys, I just want to say this. If you haven't watched that piece with Clay Henry, it's great with Dan Enos. And go Hogs. And Darian Ford is not getting – I think that Muss is helping Darian with this. And probably Barry, too. So, thanks a lot, guys. I'll hang up and listen.
Appreciate your call this morning, Nelson. Again, if you want to call or text in, 877-377-6963. So you brought up Derek Fisher in Parkview, and then you also brought up Scottie Pippen at UCA, who I think at one point was the manager before he had that 6 to 8 inch growth spurt. Chance Moore's not an in-state kid, y'all. He was from Florida or Georgia. I'm forgetting the one. I think from Florida. So, yes, you say the fair. I just don't feel that same way. Maybe that's right. Maybe that's wrong. But, guys, I don't feel that same way about Chance. And I'm glad he had success in Springfield. I was pumped about that. I saw the stats like you did, Nelson. I'm excited for Chance. That doesn't mean I have to feel the same way about an out-of-state kid versus an in-state kid.
Well, we can all admit that we're jaded, we're biased, whatever, because it is an in-state. I keep coming back. We didn't get this reaction when Barry Dunning went through the same thing. What's that been? 2-3 weeks ago now. So, this is clearly. What if Joseph Pinion? What if we come in here Monday and this is now Joseph Pinion's in the portal? Is there going to be a different reaction? Is it going to be more visceral? I mean, I'm not suggesting it's going to happen, but, I mean, he's the other in-state kid that I think a lot of people are thinking, well, he didn't play a lot. He's in a similar situation that Ford was in this past year. Is this where we're headed? I mean, if you're just thinking next step, next level, that's got to be a thought that crosses your mind.
Let's take our next caller. Let's go to Brent, who's in Stuttgart. Good morning, Brent.
Good morning, guys. This is Tommy Trey. Tommy, what's going on?
Jim. It's Jim and Chuck and Tommy. Yeah.
Brent's getting his shows mixed up.
Yep, I will help. The mouth here is going to help you get all this straight in about a minute or a minute and a half. Okay.
Bring it.
Let's break it down just like this. Ty, if Tommy found a co-host, a nationwide co-host better than you, I don't know if he can, but Tommy would send you out to pasture in about 30 seconds.
There's about 1,000 of them, but yeah, I appreciate it, Brent.
But now, man, we've got to realize that college sports is a business, as Chuck said. We're paying our coaches $4 million. I don't know exactly, $4 to $5 million a year to win. Okay, and I'm not saying Darian Ford would not have been a great play, but let's allow him the opportunity to find a place where he can flourish. I realize that he's an in-state person, a young man that dreamed for playing for the Razorbacks. But let's break it down as just as simple as I can, just like this. If we go 34-4 next year with our roster, whichever way it turns out, hey, those guys will be forgotten that have left, and we wish them well when they go to their other schools.
I think it's a fair way to look at it this morning, Brent. Let's talk to Kenny in Panama City. Good morning, Kenny. All right, I think we lost Kenny on that. Guys, I mean, he's right. If we're sitting in Phoenix next year, I'm not talking about Darian Ford. I'm talking about a potential Final Four run. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
Oh, you're right about that. That's the point I made earlier. I mean, it's, if we get to next March and Arkansas is in the Final Four, this is not going to be something that people bring up. And that's no knock on anybody. That's just the truth. That's the way the world works. I think everybody understands that part.
Yeah. And, at the end, it's just emotion. I think we're having our emotions bubble to the surface, but I just come back to at the end of the day, it's like Brent said, it's a business. That's what I've been talking about this morning. Muss has one charge, and that's to win and to get to Final Fours. And he only has 13 roster spots. It's in football with 85. I'll say that again. I mean, you don't have a margin for error like you do in another sport. So, I mean, if he feels like he can upgrade, he thinks there's a prettier girl that'll go to the prom with him, and that's what he's got to do.
He's going to trade up? Is that
yeah,
what you're saying?
I think that's exactly what we're saying here.
That's what Ty does.
Every
once in a while,
Ty's got a different one for each wedding this summer. Yeah.
So, I got 7 of them. Let's talk to Kenny now in Panama City. Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning, Ty. Can you hear me now?
We can, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. It seems the past 2 years, Coach Much has over-recruited the transfer portal, getting too many people and then having to cut down people that are already here. And is 1 year really enough time to give a player to develop in his system, really? Did Darian have enough time to develop in his system to be actually a good player for his system? I know the transfer portal makes things different, but the past last year and now this year, our team's going to be basically totally brand new. Have to learn how to gel at the beginning of the year, and all that.
Yeah. Kenny, I think we're living in a world now, and guys, I would love to hear what y'all think. We're in a world where you can't come to college and be a great, project. You can't be a development player. You better come and pretty well polished anymore if you want to contribute and play and stay on a roster. I just think that's the reality of the world, that development during college. I'm not saying there's none, but you better come in as a pretty finished product anymore. A lot more professional than collegiate in these days.
Well, everybody expects you to win now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't want to hear your excuses for not winning now. And, we watched the
Wait till
NFL
next
draft
year.
last night, and I'm always, every year they, whoever the number one quarterback is, they expect him to come in and be a superstar today. But that's the world that we live in now in sports, and that's part of the reason there's the portal now, is the demand to win today. And so it's a tough balancing act. There's no doubt about it. And again, players can leave too. Players are empowered now in a way that they've never been before. And so there's two sides to this coin. Hey, let's pause just for a second. I want to talk about Baxter Health. Those of you who are in north central Arkansas, you know that it was Baxter Regional Medical Center for a long time, and they've been around for 60 years. And they really do service north central Arkansas from a complete healthcare perspective. Compassionate care beyond measure. That's their mission at Baxter Health. And, there are so many services offered. Heart care, cancer care, diabetes care, intensive care, neurology, orthopedic care, behavioral care. And I'm just skimming the surface, really. Shuttle services are available. You've heard us talk about their urology clinic in Harrison. It's all part of compassionate care beyond measure. There are also new clinics, family clinics, that are opening in north central Arkansas and in Missouri. And that, again, just kind of brings their services to you. I think you'll find that with Baxter Health, it really is compassionate care beyond measure. And if you'd like more information, you can log on to baxterhealth.org.
Sterling's in Center Ridge. Sterling, your thought on Darian Ford this morning?
Guys, I'm proud of the fans that are upset about Darian Ford leaving, being asked to leave. And I'm going to tell you why. Because those were the same fans that was upset when we had a captain of our football team go join Louisiana State University. Those are the same fans that are upset with Caroline for going to Texas. If you're going to be consistent, I'm cool with you. I mean, be consistent. If you get mad when they leave, be mad when we ask them to leave. If you're okay with them leaving, you're all for player movement. If they ride, they can do what's best for them. But don't be mad when the coach tells somebody that they got to go. As long as you do it both ways. If it's good for the goose, be good for the gunner. I can't stand fans to get mad when a player leaves, but they're okay when the coach tells the player to leave. Now, I know this is a little different when you got an in-state kid. That's a little bit closer to home because we all done been that guy. I don't know. I mean, we all wanted to be Razorbacks growing up, at least me. And I just couldn't imagine going to be a Razorback and then being asked to leave. I couldn't. I mean, I don't know how I would act to that. But the point is, whatever line you get go down, be down it both ways is all I ask. I wish Ford nothing but the best. I'm like Ty. It's a part of me that want him to come back and roast Arkansas. But like Chuck said, on game day, I hope he shoots bricks all day long. Right now, it's all good. But when the water hits the road, when it's time to circumcise the mosquitoes, like Jerry Jones like to say, I'm gonna be running with that same animal that I've been running with since I could talk, since I could say woo pig, and that's just the way it's gonna be. But I wish Darren nothing but the best. I wish he could have stayed and had the opportunity. And in sports, it's the only thing where everybody can be right. Everybody's right. They called in, even Brent, for heaven's sake. You know how often he's right. Not like a clock. Twice a day. Guys, y'all have a great day.
I don't know why.
Wow.
All right, Sterling, thanks, man.
Little shots fired, caller to caller. We need a Jim Rome caller to caller argument on that. You know what? And again, Sterling's right. I'll feel completely different about this in probably 6 to 8 months from now. But as of Friday morning, I'm not happy. And I think, again, as a kid that grew up in this state that had no athletics ability whatsoever, but intended on going to the University of Arkansas, if I started my career in Fayetteville with my bum GPA and then was asked to leave for a Texas kid coming in that had a better academic resume or whatever the case may be, I'd be ticked. And I would do everything I could to prove the University of Arkansas wrong. And I hope Darian does that to a certain extent.
Let me say one thing, though. He has gotten to live his dream. How many of us have said over the course of our lifetime, man, if I could just do it for one day? I'm going to tell you, when I was 16 years old, what I'm doing now If you told me you can do it for one day, I'd have made the deal. And I think that, Darian Ford's gotten to live the Razorback dream. It has not ended with the parade and all the things that in our dreams we imagine, but he has gotten to live his dream. And having been around him, I suspect 20 years from now that's the way he'll reflect on it.
All right, more to come on this, and our Fence Man Friday picks are on the way. We're brought to you by our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. Mother's Day's coming up, guys, and one thing you don't want Mom having to do is cook and clean on her special day. So plan a great weekend and a great day at Gaston's White River Resort. Now, if you live in North Central Arkansas, it's an easy drive over. Maybe you want to plan a weekend at Gaston's. I'd call right now and get that settled and get it set up for Mom to have that special day. 870-431-5202. Now, they'll have a big Mother's Day buffet, so Mom won't have to lift a finger. You'll have a great view of the White River, wonderful service, and every one of Mom's favorites will be on the buffet. So you can get more details online at gastons.com, but I wouldn't wait much longer. I'd get my reservation for Mother's Day and their big buffet at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
You're in the middle of Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Does your vehicle have hail damage? Don't use a traveling dent repair service. Stay local. Stay with someone you can trust. With over 26 years of experience, Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair will get the job done right the first time. Call Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair at 479-461-9764. For hail damage to your vehicle, call Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, a name you can trust, and stay local. That's Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, 479-461-9764, the #1 fan of Arkansas sports.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas baseball gets a much-needed win last night in Baum Walker Stadium. Tommy, you took it in person. What was that Peyton Stovall grand slam like right behind the dugout?
I don't think it was necessarily surprising, but when it left the bat, you weren't sure it was going to leave the yard. It didn't just fly out of the ballpark, but it just kept going. It's kind of like the Energizer Bunny, kept going and going and going. And you knew it was a big moment because the bases were loaded, everybody had the beer hats on, and but we all kind of knew that this may not be enough this early in the game to get you to the finish line. It ultimately proved to be enough to have a big inning there in the second, but it was a fun moment early in the ball game, and it's good to see Stovall get that one out of the yard, a big moment. Hopefully it lifts him. The only hit he had last night, but he needs a little boost. Hopefully that's a confidence shot for him going in to the rest of the weekend.
It's one of the best plays last night, but Grimes also had probably the play of the game.
Grimes hustling over. He makes the catch, tagging his Targac. Here comes the throw and the tag, and they got him. The inning is over on Grimes' throw to home plate, tagged out by Parker Rowland.
Chuck, I know that home runs are exciting, but, man, there's nothing like calling out and out at the plate. There's nothing like that as a baseball broadcaster.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, play at the plate's fun, and that was a big play. It's a big throw and a big moment in the ball game. And you think about working out of trouble in the seventh with a man at third and then throwing out a runner at the plate trying to score from third in the eighth. It just kind of set up, what we saw in the bottom of the eighth inning with Borfin.
Yeah, it's great. You got 6 o'clock tonight on the SEC Network Plus, 11 o'clock tomorrow on the SEC Network, in addition to right here on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations.
Well, it's on ESPNU tonight. They have switched that.
Oh, they have.
ESPNU's picked it up. It's going to be on U again tonight.
Okay, well, I've not seen.
That's good.
Well, that's inside information that I didn't have, so I appreciate that, Chuck. Speaking of ESPNU, tomorrow against Tennessee, top 15 matchup, your softball team hosting the Vols. They're number 3 right now, so a big weekend inside of Bogle Park, in addition to Baum Walker Stadium as well. The main topic this morning has been about Darian Ford. We got 4 callers on the line. We will get to you when we start the third hour. That's going to conclude our Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, let's get into the meat here on a Friday as we welcome in Sean from the Fence Man for another fabulous Fence Man Friday. Sean, you got your your Razorback polo on. You look like you're ready for a good game day weekend, a good work Friday, man.
Well, you guys know it's A&M is playing Razorback, so it's World War II or 3 or 5 or whatever you can call it at my house. So we went to bed watching it. She thought she was going to win last night, but the Hogs came back and woo! We almost slept in different rooms.
It's the one time that your wife going to bed mad's okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but
She wasn't mad at you.
Let's be honest. When the wife loses, we all lose.
That's right.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
She walked away, and I went, yeah.
Oh, man.
There's a man that's been married a while right there.
Let's get into it, a little Fence Man Friday.
I hate to say it. I hope your wife has a bad weekend.
Me too.
Fenceman Friday Picks. Call the Fenceman for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. We ain't afraid of no work.
You're not the only Razorback Aggie combo. My friend Wes, his wife Justine is an Aggie, and so that dynamic is quite interesting when the Aggies and Razorbacks face off, as I can tell by your excitement this morning.
Yeah.
Well, it is. We have a crow that goes between family houses, and anytime A&M wins, we get the crow, and then when Arkansas wins, she gives the crow back to my dad, and it's a funny game we play.
A little back and forth.
Little caca.
A little back and forth. Well, guys,
Better than eating crow.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is true. Last night, Arkansas and A&M not the only team in action. Tennessee gets the better of Mississippi State. Ball starting to pick it up a little bit. That's where we'll start this morning. Tennessee, again, has the advantage at home in Knoxville. Tommy, are they able to close it out this weekend?
Let's see. Tennessee won last night, right? So I'll go with the Volunteers.
I'm going to take the Vols as well. Chuck, you going to go contrarian, or are you going to stay with us?
No, I'm going to go with Tennessee. I'm going to go with the Volunteers. I think they're getting well.
Well, same here, because they came out of nowhere last week and swept, right?
Well, not in that middle that Saturday game. It was 17-1 or whatever.
Yeah. So
I think Tony got their attention leaving Fayetteville somehow because they turned it on against the in-state rival. They're not dead yet, guys. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They're on a roll. So yep, I'm going Vols.
Kentucky at Vanderbilt. This is one of the other matchups, top 25 wise, in the weekend. Guys, the Commodores bounce back in this one, Tommy?
Yes, Vanderbilt. I think it'll be much like what Tennessee. I think they'll pour it on this weekend. So I'll go with Vandy.
I think Corbin's going to get the guys fired up. I'm going to take the Doors as well. What about you, Chuck?
I'm going Vanderbilt. I'm going to make it unanimous, at least so far. Sean may be contrarian. I guess we'll see.
Well, what are we at in the point systems anyway? I mean, do I need a point?
Behind. We're behind.
You're not last. I'll say that, Sean. You're not last. I'm not going to say who is, but you're not last.
I'm going to go Oppo just to see if I can get a point.
Get a point?
Yep, we got to move forward.
All right, Arkansas up 1-0 in the series against Texas A&M. Tommy, do they close it out tonight, tomorrow, or not at all?
They'll have to win in the rubber match on Saturday. Arkansas wins the series.
Okay. I'm going to take Arkansas as well. I think A&M's going to get them tonight, but I do think Arkansas wins the series overall, Sean.
Okay. I want Arkansas to sweep.
Sean's doubling down.
Yeah.
But I will have to take my wife out to a nice dinner after all that's said and done. Yeah. But yeah, I think Arkansas sweeps. Actually, I think they're going to wipe them out this weekend.
Yeah, she'll get over it.
Yeah, you're coming for dinner then.
So if an A&M won the next two, is she taking you out for dinner?
Whatever. I've got yard work to go do. While she sits back and drinks hot coffee or something.
Never works out the way you want it to. Chuck, we'll go to Gainesville for you. Missouri Tigers taking on Florida and O'Sullivan. Did the Gators get it done this weekend against an SEC?
Gators.
Go Gators.
I'm saying chop, chop. Gators are going to win that series.
Okay. Real quick, bonus point on the line. Drew Sanders not drafted last night in the NFL draft. Tommy, who drafts Drew Sanders?
Oh, there should be big bonus points if you get this right.
You get
this
3
is shot
points.
In the dark right here.
3 points.
I think 5.
Chuck's trying. That sounds like a guy's coming from behind, Tommy, that needs some points.
5 points.
Okay, 5 points. I'll relent. I'll give away 5 points.
Let me
Tommy,
get the draft order. I got to get the second-round draft order. You caught me off guard here. Who are the first 4 or 5 teams here?
Yeah, we got to know who we're choosing from.
Let me cut to the chase. The Dallas Cowboys will draft Drew Sanders.
Ooh. Be later. They just had one of the last picks of the first round. So
That's just a shot in the dark.
They could trade up. You never know.
Just a shot in the dark.
Steelers are up first, Tommy. It goes Steelers, Cardinals, Lions, Colts, Rams, Seahawks, Raiders. That's enough for you.
Oh. Give me the Lions.
Give me the Lions. What do you think, Sean?
Seahawks.
Seahawks. I'm gonna say Carolina. I think he ends up in Carolina. I hope he.
That'd be the 8th pick. That'd be the 39th overall pick.
Yeah, Bryce Young. I think he's going to do good things for the Carolina Panthers playing under Frank Wright. So I'm going to go Carolina and Drew Sanders.
If he goes 11th in the second round or the 42nd pick, it'd be to your Packers.
Yeah, so. I didn't love our pick last night, to be quite honest, but who knows? That's our Fitzman Friday, Tommy.
Well, Sean, you still needing to hire some people? You still need to add to the team?
We really do. We trying to put on some quality people. You guys were talking about the portal and transfer of players and needing people to show up ready to go play. Same thing for us. I'm looking for guys that are ready to work, have the talent, have the skills to do what we need to do. I don't need I would like to have a malleable person to train, but for the kind of work we do and where we're at and as blessed as we are, I'm really looking for some skills, some talent. You want to come work for a great company. I'm not just because I'm saying that. You can ask any of my employees. I'll take good care of you if you'll take good care of me. So let's come see us.
782-3936 or 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. Sean, enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, guys. It's been great.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Matt, it's almost summertime.
Yes, it is, Dad. Spring's here, and summer's not too far away.
So, Matt, you know what that means.
Baseball season.
Yep, you be right.
And Hog fans, we have everything you need to get ready for Razorback baseball.
From T-shirts to hats.
From stuff for the grill to lighted signs and decorations for your fan cave.
We even have those bases-loaded beer hats and them boppers.
Hey, Dad, what's a bopper?
You know, those springy things that have 2 beer cups on the top?
Oh, yeah, those things. I've seen them everywhere. Well, no matter what you need, we have you covered.
So, Hog fans, come by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville and call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. And, Matt, as usual, I'm going to leave them WW face gram things up.
Our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Matt, this time of year reminds me of when your mom and I first started dating, man.
Dad, wait, hang on. That's just too much.
Oh, okay.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Let's talk about Mosquito Joe misting systems. You know, misting systems perfect for homes with really bad mosquito problems you just can't seem to get under control. It's like having a Mosquito Joe technician on your property 24/7. Misting systems are great for homes with pools, patios, and even horse barns, things like that. If you think a misting system might be right for you, give Mosquito Joe a call. Tell us you heard it on ESPN Radio for $200 off your installation. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
What's the room again?
1080, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, don't touch that. It's gross.
Here we are. Got the key?
You have them.
Oh, great. It's not working.
Try flipping it over.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Okay.
Why can't we go inside?
Bring it over.
I'm tired. Oh my gosh.
Give me yours.
Really? You have mine.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
I'm tired. Oh my
Try
gosh.
this.
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Breeden RV, Highway 64 between Alma and Van Buren.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke mile service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. Our temperatures this afternoon into the upper 60s north, mid 70s south. Showers with some thunderstorms increasing tonight. Overnight lows in the low to mid 50s. Saturday, a chance of some scattered showers. Our high temperatures right around 65. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Put down the bug spray and pick up the phone before you head outside this summer. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Another 3-2 pitch is on the way to Peyton Stovall. Swung on, hit high in the air, deep right field. That one's going to go onto the roof of the Hunk Center for a grand slam.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You guys know I am a student of pop culture.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir. I know every Arkansas baseball fan that got a chance to go to the game like Tommy did, watch it like I did, or listen to it right here on ESPN Arkansas, HitThatLine.com, was pleased with the result last night. You beat the Aggies 7-5. You got the game tonight at 6 o'clock, the game tomorrow at 11. Hopefully you can win one, if not both of those games, and take the series against Texas A&M. We'll get to more of that coming up. Chris Burke of ESPN, who played baseball at Tennessee, is going to join us, get his thoughts as he was on call in the game last night. But we'll kind of come back to this Darian Ford stuff in just a bit, Tommy.
Fastball Friday is always brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They concentrate these impactful treatments right here in their Northwest Arkansas office and put them right to the source of your pain, whether it's your shoulder, your knees, your back, your hips, wherever it's at, directly applying those healing properties from your body to where you need them the most, giving you lasting relief. So if your doctor has told you surgery, you're going to be down for 6 weeks, you're going to have to take pain medicine or shots every few months, there's a better way, and QC Kinetics can show you how to get back to doing the things you love the most. Get started with a complimentary consultation. They can see you next week in Northwest Arkansas at their clinic. 479-999-1234 is where you need to call this morning. That's 479-999-1234 for my friends at QC Kinetics.
If you got a late start to a Friday morning, that's fine. Just to go over what we've been discussing, what's easily been the most important topic in conversation is about Darian Ford. Now, Darian, if you are just jumping in, yesterday announced that he was entering the transfer portal. And about 3 weeks ago, he announced that he was coming back to school. It is, in my opinion, and it's just mine, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong either, that he was told to leave or go or explore his other options or whatever the case may be. This is a kid that won a couple state championships in Arkansas, was a player of the year a couple times in Arkansas, and had an outstanding senior year and wanted to be a Razorback and wanted to go to the University of Arkansas, which I might add is a in-state institution. It's a land-grant institution, and there are a lot of kids outside of the state that go to the U of A, which is fine. It's great. A lot of my friends are not from the state of Arkansas. But the priority to me, academically, not always athletically, but academically, needs to be to in-state kids. Now, again, we've had plenty of takes this morning, some siding with me, some very against me, which is fine. It's part of Sports Talk Radio. But, guys, that's where we're at this morning in discussing Darian Ford.
Well, I think you can be for all that and still have an understanding of why this has occurred. I think you can be for Arkansas kids. I think you can want to favor Arkansas kids, even though in the grand scheme of things that might not be what we should do. I think it's okay to feel that way, but I also think there's got to be some realization of what the system is that we're operating within now. I mean, the transfer portal's changed everything, and we went through all the numbers at the end of the basketball season about, the teams that were there at the end and how they built their rosters, and the vast majority of it was through the transfer portal. So, players can leave anytime they want to. That's the flip side to this. Players can leave on a moment's notice, and a lot of times you don't want them to leave. I want to emphasize what we said earlier, and I want to say it again. We don't know what was said. We don't know what was said. And now there are some things that, if you can put two and two together, there are some things here that, do seem fairly obvious. But I don't think that we ought to act like we know exactly how all this went down, because we don't. Darian Ford's a good kid. He's going to have a good life. He's going to have a great life. I have no doubt about that. I wish it could be here. I'm an in-state guy. I wish it could be here. I really do. But by the same token, I also understand that, we can talk all we want about sentiment and emotion and all the things that we'd love to see in a perfect world. But the reality of college sports is, if you've not won today, somebody wants to know why. And if you don't have a plan to win tomorrow, then you're no good to us. And if you went to the Elite Eight last year, we want you to go to the Final Four next year. And if you go next year, we expect you to win it all the year after that. So that's just, it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. And unfortunately, situations like this come up, and this is the part that's not pleasant.
With the transfer portal and NIL and all of the outcry over the last 5 to 10 years, that dramatically grew louder year to year. More power for the players, more freedom to transfer. The other side of the coin sometimes isn't what we want. But the reality is players can pull up and enter the portal, and they can leave when they want. It's what you just said. This is a business. The coaches are paid millions of dollars to win and win now, and they only have 13 roster spots. And while I hate that an Arkansas kid isn't going to be able to live out his dream for 4 years, I get the spot that Muss is in. And with the portal now making players available at the touch of a button on a computer or a phone, this is why we're having this conversation, because the mechanism's in place, because everybody demanded that players should have this freedom to move when they feel like moving, and this is one of the side effects or the results of those decisions that have been made.
You know, one of the things that I think needs to be said is that the heartbreak, if there's heartbreak on the part of Darian Ford, you don't necessarily feel any less heartbreak because you're from somewhere else. Now, you know, do the people around you? Oh, yeah, because, you know, they're living it with you. This is not pleasant for anyone when somebody who may want to stay is given the reality that it's probably not going to work out. That's hard for everyone, and I don't think anyone should ever think that a coach enters into that lightly. I've had the privilege of working around all these guys over the years, and I don't know a single one of them that arrives at that conclusion lightly. You know, your plan is for every single one of these kids to succeed. And the reality, though, in the transfer portal era is that may come somewhere else. You know, their success may come somewhere else. You mentioned Chance Moore a little bit earlier. I'm going to be honest. Based on the playing time that he got the year he was here, if you'd told me he's going to average 13 points per game for a Division I team next year, I'd have said probably not. But he did, you know. So maybe Darian will have similar success. I sure hope so, because I think he's a good guy, good kid. But, you know, we've had this situation come up before. And that's why, you know, hey, it's a double-edged sword when you recruit sometimes within your borders, because you bring the whole town with you. And they're generally not shy about telling you what they think.
Let's talk to Hong Kong Suey, who's in Benville this morning. Good morning, Hong Kong Suey.
Morning. I got a few things to say here, Ty, but the first one has got to be directed at you. Man, we don't need another Ruskin, so don't start going down this road. One's enough. Look, I'm a huge Darian Ford fan. I love the kid. I got to watch him in high school a few times. I don't believe, number one, that he was pushed out here. He wouldn't have made an announcement, you know, a couple of weeks back if and then without Muss's approval. I'm certain of that. But number two, whichever way it went down. I mean, I don't know if you remember this last season when two of our absolute best players were out with injuries, and we had people actually on the radio shows and the internet, Twitter, actually calling for us to be fired because we weren't winning enough games.
That's stupid.
And we're not talking.
That's
it is
idiotic,
stupid, but it's
yes.
still true. It's stupid, but it's still true. And we've seen, maybe not here, but we've seen it plenty of other places, that sometimes those rumbles turn into something that just, you know, it can't be stopped. The reality is that Ford is going to be a good player somewhere. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and more than anything, he's a hard worker. But we've brought in a lot of guys who can play his position. We got a 5-star coming in Blocker. We've got the kid from Washington. Can't think of his name right now. And then we got the Ellis kid from Louisville, who, while he may not be coming here to be a point guard, certainly has the skills and probably is a little more developed than Darian was going to be this year. He saw the right, and that's not even counting all the other perimeter players that are, you know, almost guaranteed to take minutes that Darian was hoping for. Great kid, hard worker, great basketball player, but Arkansas is no longer a developmental school. And that's with the portal, that's really what it comes down to. You're either a developmental school or you're a contender. Which one are we going to be? Baseball, great game last night. Really proud of the guys for bouncing back from the 4-game losing streak. Really liked the way, particularly our hitters were competing. Guys that have been getting beat to death had pretty good nights last night. So just really happy with the way things are going there. Other than, obviously the 4-game losing streak was pretty rough, but we've been hammered by injuries. just really proud of our guys. So everybody needs to get out there tonight and support the team, and let's call the Hogs and take down the Aggies and their cult leaders.
Here.
Finally, last thing I'll say, really like what's going on with the football team in the spring. Looks good. I really like Enos as the OC with where KJ's at. I think he's the perfect guy to bring him to the next level. But even more than that, I really love to see the uptick in recruiting that's going along with these guys we brought in on young, exciting, charismatic guys we brought in on the defensive side.
Yeah, we appreciate your call, Hong Kong. So we got to run. Football team, highest rated recruiting class since they've started at this point right now. We will talk some more football next week. But, Tommy, we're going to talk some baseball coming up with Chris Burke here on a Fastball Friday.
Yep, Fastball Friday here on the Morning Rush, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Northwest Arkansas, North Central Arkansas for CDL licensed drivers, heavy equipment operators, electricians, diesel mechanics, and more. If you'd like to join the team at APAC Arcola, enjoy top pay, a sign-on bonus, great benefits package that includes not only the great pay but also retirement and profit sharing. You can apply online at jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Chris is an analyst of baseball at ESPN, the SEC network, played at Tennessee back in the day. Chris, we appreciate you making some time for us this morning. Happy to have you in Fayetteville. I heard you on the broadcast last night, kind of surprised like I was when Hagen Smith was inserted and the sixth inning in a tied ball game. We learned after the fact that Dylan Carter was dealing with some arm soreness. But what did you think about his performance shutting out the Aggies in 4 innings to close the game last night?
Well, I thought his performance was incredible. I think he continues to show just how comfortable he is coming in and out of the bullpen. It's interesting to see the way different pitchers respond to different situations, and some guys are just wired for the bullpen. I remember when the Red Sox flirted around with making Papelbon a starter, and he's just like, no, I like throwing out the pen. Now, Hagen Smith's probably a little early in his career to probably shelve being a starter, and he's not your traditional closer because he's, more in the Cops mold of give me the ball in the middle of the game and I'm going to get it home. But what a weapon to have, right? Now, he hasn't, I don't think, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's done the Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday deal that Cops became so famous for. But I admire the strategy and the boldness of Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Horn to just identify a game they believe they can win and just go win that game. And then basically you're not to say you put a sweep out of your mind, but you're basically going, okay, we're going to figure out a way to win one of the next two and just keep adding up series wins. And, at the end of the year, you're going to like the way the conference record looks, which everybody knows if the conference record looks good, usually your NCAA tournament resume looks good as well. So you got to give the coaching staff and Hagen Smith a bunch of credit. And of course, a couple left-handers coming up with some huge swings of the bat in perfect moments for the Hogs last night.
Chris, you were a tremendous hitter in Knoxville, and Jace Borfin has been on a tear this season. He did not have a lot of success, didn't play a lot last year. I was listening to him speak about that after the game. As a former great collegiate hitter, what have you noticed about Borfin and how he takes his at-bats?
Well, I thought Dave Van Horn said some really insightful things at his great coaching points last night when we interviewed him about Peyton Stovall. That really applies to all hitters, which is, and then if you were listening to Tom and I ended up having kind of a conversation around it, which is just the game of baseball can be very counterintuitive, especially to type A guys who want to, quote unquote, make something happen. And it really is the epitome of a sport where you have to let things happen, right? You have to go up there with supreme focus and a plan that makes sense for you and the pitcher you're facing. And from there, you really have to react to whatever the pitcher allows you to do. And if that means taking a walk, and if that means grinding out a 2-strike at bat, like really that's all you can do. To a certain extent, you are dependent on the pitcher throwing you something that that you can handle. Now, the best hitters handle the most pitches, and as you gain confidence, it's crazy how your zone of pitches you can do damage on expands. That being said, it appears that the game has slowed down for Borfin. It appears that he's seeing the ball very well. Case in point, hitting a breaking ball for left-hander last night off the hitting facility. So, there's so many things when you watch a hitter that transfer over, which is slow down your heartbeat, make the pitcher throw the ball in the zone, the ability to hit different speeds, and then the ball to all parts of the field. And he certainly represents all those things right now.
Chris, we've been having a healthy discussion about transfer portal and some things in basketball this morning. I'd love to get your take on what effect you're seeing it have, not just at Arkansas but around the SEC, and what it's done for the sport. As you look at rosters and you see players move around, what effect are you seeing in the short term so far with the transfer portal and what it's meant to college baseball to this point?
Well, it's probably my favorite topic to discuss with the coaching staffs. We had a healthy NIL transfer portal conversation with Arkansas staff yesterday. I've done it many times with A&M staff as well. I still think we're fairly early in the process where teams are, you're going to try this and that worked or it didn't, and then you're going to try that and that works or it doesn't. I still think, and to a degree, it'll always be a little bit fluid, right? Similar to the way these coaches approach some of their prep recruiting. But, just look at Arkansas's lineup. I think they had two position players last night that started at Arkansas, Stovall and Diggs, I think are the only two players in their lineup last night that started their career at Arkansas. So that just gives you an idea of the type of fluidity that we have in the game today, and it's not going to change. I think what's going to be interesting as the value of impact transfers continues to establish itself and these collectives continue to streamline where exactly they're going to push their funds, it'll be interesting to see the teams that really pursue the big fish on the market. And, not every year is going to have Paul Skeens and Tommy White, right? That's not every year are hitters like that going to become available. But when they do, it's going to be interesting to see if teams pursue because what happens is similar to what you see in Major League Baseball. If you go all in, let's just say you go all in on Paul Skeens and you spend 3 weeks of time, energy, and resources flying out to see him and bringing him in and wooing him and all these kinds of things, and he's your number one player and you're going all in. Well, meanwhile, there's 2 or 3 other pitchers that are probably, getting that attention from other schools that you may miss out on, right? So it's just another layer that these coaches are going to have to deal with. And it's also a vital reason why they have to be able to pass this third full-time assistant and allow more people on the road, because there is a lot for these college coaching staffs to manage right now, especially when you consider the draft is in the middle of July, and that throws even another variable in the mix.
Yeah. And in a sport with partial scholarships, NIL may have a greater impact in baseball than any other sport just because of the scholarship situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's almost funny, like we really don't hear too much about 11.7 anymore, at least at the high end of the Power Five, right? Like maybe there are a few Power Fives, certainly all the rest of the D1 schools that are probably just living in the 11.7 world. But I think at the upper end of Division I baseball, there's a lot of different ways to help kids pay for school these days. So that piece is almost lightened because you have so many different revenue streams with which you can draw from.
Chris, we're running out of time, man. We really appreciate you jumping on with us this morning. I know the game later on tonight got moved to ESPNU, so you'll be on call, I'm assuming, the rest of the weekend, correct?
Yeah, we got the next 2, and hopefully this weather brightens up a little bit and we get a packed Baum Walker. I always love being in this place. Every time I'm here, I'm just blown away by the facilities here at Arkansas. So hopefully we'll have a packed house tonight and a bunch of energy in the building.
It's a fun place to be. Again, Chris Burke, ESPN, SEC Network, college baseball analyst, taking some time out of this morning to join us. Chris, we appreciate it, man.
You got it. Be well.
Hey, guys, if you're looking to lose a few pounds before summer, or you just reached that point in life where losing some of that extra weight's just become too hard. You're like me. You've gotten into your 40s, you're approaching 50, and it's just too difficult. Semaglutide from Vichy Aesthetics and Wellness can help you do it. Call or text for an appointment today, 479-343-8424. I've lost over 20 pounds. You can as well. That's Vichy Aesthetics and Wellness, 343-8424.
You're in the middle of Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Matt, it's almost summertime.
Yes, it is, Dad. Spring's here, and summer's not too far away.
So, Matt, you know what that means.
Baseball season.
Yep, you be right.
And Hog fans, we have everything you need to get ready for Razorback baseball.
From T-shirts to hats.
From stuff for the grill to lighted signs and decorations for your fan cave.
We even have those bases-loaded beer hats and them boppers.
Hey, Dad, what's a bopper?
You know, those springy things that have 2 beer cups on the top?
Oh, yeah, those things. I've seen them everywhere. Well, no matter what you need, we have you covered.
So, Hog fans, come by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville and call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. And, Matt, as usual, I'm going to leave them WW facegram things up.
Our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Matt, this time of year reminds me of when your mom and I first started dating, man.
Oh, Dad, wait, hang on. That's just too much.
Oh, okay.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Remember sitting in math class thinking, I am never going to need to know the difference between fractions like 1/3 and 1/4. Well, you owe your 6th grade math teacher an apology. At Mock Legal Solutions, we are offering a special on all car wreck cases. Sign up in the months of April or May, and we will take 25% as our fee, instead of the usual 1/3. Call us today, 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. No win, no fee.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
What's up, JD? I love what you do with cars. 7 straight years of the best detail here in the River Valley.
Thanks, Matt. You should come check out our Cars and Coffee. Every first Saturday of the month at JD's River Valley Restoration, we're going to do a Cars and Coffee. 5606 Towson. Come check out Queen Bean's Espresso on the lot.
What separates you from all the other detail companies in the River Valley?
Quality and consistency is what keeps bringing our customers back. But most importantly, it's the customer service that matters the most to us.
My ride looks brand new.
JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Court rushing and field rushing has become much more the rule than the exception because everybody wants to see it on ESPN, and that's the first thing they show when SportsCenter comes on that night. And I realize in this era of trash talk that this is not a fashionable thing to say, but it's still all right to win with class and lose with dignity.
Good analysis from Chris Burke of ESPN. Again, he's going to be in call the rest of the weekend. Really appreciate him waking up early and joining us here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. We're going to talk some more baseball coming up. We're going to come back to Darren Ford. We still got texts. We still got calls. We also have Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources on the phone. Larry, good morning, man.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hope you're having a good one. Here we are. I mean, last 2 days of the month, that's a big deal, folks. We've still got numbers to hit, and that means it's an excellent time for you to come in and save some money on a premium pre-owned vehicle, a Rath road-ready used car, a new Mitsubishi. Just a great time to come in, especially if you have a trade. We really need your trade-ins right now, folks. You're going to get some extra there. If you've got a payoff, we're going to stretch and really work to try to help make that work out for you as well. If you're keeping the car you have and you just want to take care of it, the Meineke Car Care Centers, they're still growing all the time. It seems like we've been saying that for years. They just keep growing and helping more and more people all the time take care of their vehicles. They know how to take care of that car, but they know how to take care of you too, and that's the most important part. Philip and his team in Fort Smith, Chad and his team there in Springdale, they'd love a chance to take care of your vehicle in the Meineke Car Care Center, whether it's maintenance or major repair. Just get some extra and get yourself something nicer and newer. We've got a big selection. These Rath road-ready vehicles, all the most popular makes and models. And, if you're looking for a new car, the new Mitsubishi really is a smart choice. We've been winning awards, getting great reviews. The dealership's been winning customer satisfaction awards. That vehicle is just a fantastic car with a fantastic warranty and a big price advantage. If you shop it against the competition, you're going to see a lot of value in that Mitsubishi product. So we've got it all, folks. We'd love to see you this weekend. Come help us finish up our month, and we'll help you with a great deal. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, the Meineke Car Care Centers at both locations, or check us out online at rathauto.com.
All right, put your current car in the transfer portal and get you a new one at Rath Auto Resources, right. Fort Smith and in Springdale. You like that? All right, I'll charge you a little extra.
Yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, we're going to do that. The transfer portal. They just pull in and leave in a nicer car. Beautiful.
That's exactly
time.
right. Larry, have a good weekend.
Man. You too. You guys have a good one. And folks, come and see us.
I know we hadn't had too much time this morning. Did y'all watch any of the NFL draft last night? Did y'all get a chance?
Not a single minute.
Not a single. Tommy, you were at the ballpark. I didn't know.
I went to the game. Then I got back to the room just in time to see Jerry get to smile on camera and everybody around him there. And they had one of the late picks, and I saw the very tail end, but I did not see probably the first 29 picks of the first round.
We will tell you more SEC players drafted coming up in your SEC update. No Arkansas players off the board. We're talking about where Drew Sanders would end up. You'll get a chance to see that later on tonight and likely round number 2. But back to where we were with Darian Ford. Brian in Greenwood is calling in. In case you're just jumping in with us this morning, Darian Ford announced yesterday that he is entering the transfer portal. Brian, your thoughts on this, what's gone down in the last 24 hours or so?
Well, I'm glad I'm following Chris Burke because he actually said something I think is going to help my point. And he was talking about the Power 5 baseball teams have 11.7 scholarships, but NIL is really helping you fill out your roster with great players. Now, if you'll contribute that to basketball, I know we say we have 13 scholarships, but we have 15 roster spots. And I called in a couple of weeks ago and brought this point up, but I kind of want to get Chuck's opinion because he wasn't on the radio that day. But I don't see why we couldn't have offered Darian Ford a walk-on spot. And I looked up today, the University of Arkansas, it's $28,000 for room, board, and education. And we couldn't find $28,000 of NIL money to go ahead and put him as a walk-on and pay for his scholarship and his ride. And we could have done the same thing possibly with Dunning, too, because you got the 2 walk-on spots. So instead of having scrubs on your team, why don't you go ahead and give those 2 kids a full ride with NIL money and keep them on the roster? I mean, I said that a couple days ago, and you guys thought it was kind of crazy because it's never been done, but it's never been done until somebody does it. And if baseball can do it, basketball could do it, too.
Theoretically, I think it could happen. But I do believe that will be the exception rather than the rule for a couple of reasons. Number one, there is gratification in a scholarship, and I don't think that can be underestimated. But I also think, too, that this, if you're wanting to play, if your goal is to play, it doesn't matter if you're on scholarship or if NIL is paying your way. If you're not playing, you're not going to be happy. That's just how the world works. That's how these guys are. They're competitors. So I hear what you're saying. Theoretically, perhaps it could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen very often.
I don't think we called it crazy, Tommy. We just hadn't heard it before. Maybe I'm misquoting myself. I don't remember saying that was a crazy, stupid idea or anything.
I don't remember that at all, but I'm with Chuck. I mean, most of these kids want the satisfaction of earning a scholarship. They want to earn it, not be given a walk-on. I mean, I hate to call it second-class citizenship, but it's just not the same whether you're a walk-on versus a scholarship player.
You want to,
I don't know how you define it.
Well,
but
it is
there's
on
a
the
difference.
team. I mean, everything's the same on the team. Everything's the same on the practice floor. I've never, in any sport, seen a walk-on treated by his teammates any differently than a scholarship player was. But there is the recognition and the gratification that comes with it. And there's also the reality that, hey, they got something invested in me. That's going to give me more of a chance.
Fastball Fridays brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments that can help you get through the joint pain and relieve that joint pain so you can get back to the things you love, whether it's your shoulders, knees, back, hip, whatever hurts you and keeps you from doing the things you love. QC Kinetics can show you how to relieve that pain and get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtimes. Get started with a complimentary consultation right here in Northwest Arkansas, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Get to your SEC update and Lane Whitman coming up.
You're in the middle of Fastball Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels. To the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
The Golf Nut has everything you need to make 2023 the best year ever. In stock now, Ping G430 woods and irons, along with tailor-made Stealth 2 woods. Schedule a fitting today. The new Titleist Pro V1s are here. Golf lessons are available. Call the shop and book a time, or just play a round of golf on one of the many courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. Stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your number one golf shop since 1994.
Greenwood Collision is ready to serve as everyone assesses the damage from the recent storms. They will gladly work with all insurance companies and make the process of getting your vehicle back to new as painless as possible. Greenwood Collision is direct repair for most insurance companies and provides a lifetime warranty on all work. Let them do all the work for you. Call Chris or Joe today at Greenwood Collision at 996-9922 or stop by their location at 2615 West Center Street in Greenwood.
Where do you go when you're ready to buy a vehicle? Platinum Auto Sales, your go-to dealership. Whether you just want to check out the inventory or are a serious buyer, they would love to hear from you. Check them out online at PlatinumAutoSale.com to view their current inventory or stop in at 4210 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Jason and his family are dedicated to great customer service and strive to be your go-to dealership. Platinum Auto Sales, 479-308 3221.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Let's get into your SEC update this morning. The first pick in the NFL draft coming from an SEC school, Alabama. That would be Bryce Young.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama.
Tommy, not a surprise. He had the best odds. That was the selection that most people thought was going to happen. I think the Panthers got themselves a really good quarterback.
Well, let's hope. I mean, a lot of people thought Jamarcus Russell was going to be a great quarterback, and Ryan Leaf and some others. I mean, he's comes from a great pedigree. He's got a great resume, but I guess we'll know when when we tee it up in September. Because everybody's, like we said earlier, everybody expects you to come in and win a Super Bowl in your first 3 years. Now Mahomes has set a standard that it's going to be hard for anyone else to live up to.
Yeah, that AFC, man, it's something. Some other SEC draft news. So the Texans traded up for Will Anderson and got C.J. Stroud. They're excited about that. Jalen Carter went to the Eagles in addition to Nolan Smith. 4 Georgia defensemen in the last couple years drafted by the Birds up there in Philly. Darnell Wright, who played offensive line, went to the Bears from Tennessee. You had Jahmyr Gibbs go to the Lions. Then Will Levis, not drafted in the first round last night, which I think Will Levis is going to be bust. I don't think he's going to be an NFL quarterback. I was not really surprised to see that last night.
Yeah, so I think it'd be fun. Maybe we'll see Drew Sanders, one of the first names called today, hopefully first few picks of the second round when they get back going tonight with the draft.
You know how excited Chuck Barrett's going to be on Monday if his prediction comes true and Stephen and Jerry Jones pick him with the Dallas Cowboys upcoming second-round selection. I don't know who's going to be happier, Christian or Chuck. It's going to be a battle. But, yeah, that would be pretty cool to see him end up.
How far would he have to drop for that to happen? Let me look here.
What did you – we said it earlier, didn't we? Packers, it was the 11th pick. I think the Panthers –
unless there's a trade.
He could trade
Cowboys pick is the 27th pick of the 58th overall pick.
Yeah, that's tough.
The 58th overall pick because they were at the tail end of the first round. I just make sure they hadn't traded for something. Or I'm just kind of scrolling through the second round here. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be tough in being able to get him then. Other SEC baseball game last night, Tennessee Volunteers got a gun against Mississippi State late. Plenty of other SEC baseball matchups this weekend as well. Probably the most notable one is Kentucky at Vanderbilt, I'd have to say. That'd be the one that a lot of people are paying attention to this weekend. Tommy, you going to Friday or Saturday at all? I know you were at the game last night.
No, I'm not. I've given our tickets away for those games, but I'll be watching. I'll be keeping up with what's going on. And early game on Saturday. So, I mean, you got to pay attention because some of these game times, last nights and then Saturdays, have moved from the original scheduled time. So, keep up or look at the website. Make sure you know when the games are going to be because you don't want to miss it because you think it's going to be at a different time, and Saturdays is several hours different.
Yeah, and it's on ESPNU. Got moved to ESPNU tonight away from Plus. Another game note that Chuck told us this morning.
Well, they announced that, but the Saturday game I think went from 2 to 11. So I mean last night's game was moved 30 minutes. It's one thing for 30 minutes, but 3 hours you might miss the whole game.
Yeah. Last thing before we get to Oaklawn, Alabama did get Notre Dame transfer quarterback Tyler Buchner. I'm sure Zach Arns will have some thoughts on that later on today, but he officially did transfer to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
All right, that's your SEC update brought to you on Fridays by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader when it comes to regenerative care and regenerative treatments. They can help those aching joints, those chronic joint pains you have in your back, your shoulders, your knees, your hips with non-invasive treatments right in the office in Northwest Arkansas. It's Natural Biologics. They concentrate these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain to eliminate this pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. So if your doctor's told you surgery is the only way you're going to fix your knee or your shoulder, and you're going to have 8 weeks of rehab, and you're going to be away from the things you love for months and months, there's a better way with QC Kinetics. Call them for an appointment next week, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics right here in Northwest Arkansas. Man, we're down to the last little bit of live racing at Oaklawn as we're moving closer to the Kentucky Derby. We got this week. What do we have? 5 racing days left, Lang? As Lang Whitman joins us now to discuss the weekend upcoming at Oaklawn. I think we got 5 days. Is that correct?
I think it's 6. I think they're racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week, with Saturday be the closing day, and also Kentucky Derby Day. So we'll talk about the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks when we come on next week at this time. But 2 weekends left at Oaklawn.
Yeah, so a lot of people. That's the big day of the year, and I look forward to discussing that next week as we get closer to the biggest race in the world next weekend at the Kentucky Derby. But still some big races coming up this weekend. I know some of those jockey and trainer standings look to be pretty well solidified going into these final 2 weekends.
Yeah, Christian Torres leads Francisco Arrieta in the jockey standings 88-79, with Ricardo Santana in third place at 50. Looks like Torres is going to win the jockey title, and the trainer title will go to Robertino Diodoro. He's got 56 wins. Of course, Christian Torres is his main jockey, so they're both atop the standings. Steve Asmussen 8 wins behind. He's got 48. Chris Hartman has 36 wins to round out the top 3 in the trainer standings.
Yeah. All right, so looking ahead to this weekend, always some big races on Saturday, and this weekend's no exception. We've got 2 stakes races coming up this weekend at Oaklawn.
Yeah, you got another new stakes race. Had 2 new ones last week with the Bathhouse Row Stakes and the Valley of the Vapor Stakes. This is the Dig a Diamond Stakes for $150,000 for fillies and mares going 1 mile. Some of the top contenders there look to be Lovely Ride from trainer Robertino Diodoro, Tap Dance Fever from trainer Brett Calhoun, and trainer Kim McPeak has a pair in there, Butterbean and Gunning. So those are some of the top ones in that race. And the other stakes race is a race that's been around Oaklawn a long time, the Bachelor Stakes, $150,000, 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds. Mo Strike from trainer Brad Cox, we haven't seen Mo Strike since running at Saratoga late last summer, is the 2-1 favorite. He's going to be challenged by Steve Asmussen with Rivet at 5-2, who's won his last 2 races at Oaklawn this season.
All right, we've made a lot of money on your Friday best bet that you always give us, kind of a free pick here on the Morning Rush. Lay it on us with 2 weeks to go. Who are we liking today on that morning line?
I tell you what, about 2 minutes before I called in, I got a text from Nancy Holthus over there at Oaklawn and giving me the scratches, and my best bet scratched. So I'm scrambling, and what I'm going to do here is we're going to go to race 7. Horse number 8, Cole Spur. We're going to go a long shot today instead of a best bet. Let's go a long shot. Cole Spur, number 8, race 7. It's 10-1 on the morning line. Here's a race where every horse in this race has won only 1 time in their career. The favorite was 0 for 13, and then he won his last race, so now he's 1 out of 14. And that's a horse that's 5-2. I'm going to take a horse that's also 1 out of 14 in his life, but he's 10-1. This horse has been knocking on the door his last 4 races at Oaklawn. His debut at Oaklawn way back in December, he ran second by a neck. Since then, he's been 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th. All these horses are, like I said, only have 1 win. They've been kind of beating each other up during the whole meet. I think when the favorite is 5-2 and it's still only 1 out of 14, you got to look for a price here. I'm going to go with trainer Riley Mott, son of Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott. And go with number 8, Cole Spur. Try to get a price here for us today in the 7th race at Oaklawn.
All right, that's Friday's 7th race. Give us the numbers there again.
Yeah, race 7, horse number 8, Cole Spur.
The 8th and the 7th. All right. All Lang's picks are available at the Railbird 333, and Lang next Friday will break down the Kentucky Derby.
I'll have it ready. Looking forward to it.
All right, that's Lang Whitman with us every Friday here on the Morning Rush, and our racing update always brought to you by Brothers Roofing. If you've been recently, your home has had a hailstorm or a tornado or high winds near it, and you're seeing roofs go on homes in your subdivision or your neighborhood, or you got pounded with hail in North Fort Smith and Crawford County a couple of weeks ago, call Brothers Roofing. Maybe your insurance company's been out and they said you don't need a roof, but you do. Brothers Roofing can come out and make that inspection, and they'll work with your insurance company to maximize your insurance benefits. 479-353-3877 is Brothers' number. They've been in the roofing business for more than 25 years. Brother's a former Razorback, and he knows what it takes to get that roof on right. not only with the quality shingles, but the underlayment, the ice and water barriers, making sure all the valleys and the ridges and all the things that go into a great roof are right. And Brother will personally inspect every job at the conclusion to make sure it is 100% right. That's Brothers Roofing, 479-353-3877. They are local. Brother's been here. He's an Arkansan. He lives here and been in Northwest Arkansas since he played for the Razorbacks. 479-353-3877 for Brothers Roofing.
Let's wrap up today's show here on a Fastball Friday. Really appreciate everyone joining us this morning, including JR, who's in Shady Grove, one of our favorite listeners. JR, do us well. Do us proud on this last call this morning.
Well, I'm gonna have to get you started off with some half and half of the morning because man, you're just getting too wired up about all this. Gonna have to take a chill pill.
Should have gone decaf.
Yeah.
I kind of like Ty today. I like the energy today, JR.
Well, you know what? Here's the world we live in. It doesn't matter whether you're a Delaware Blue Hen or you're an Alabama Crimson Tide. This is the world of the transfer portal and NIL. And this is what we got. It'll get worse. It'll get worse. You know, I mean, I wish him the best, but I mean, it's just business. It's a business decision. It's a pro world in college. So that's what we're going up against. The days of watching a kid develop and following him throughout his career at any school probably are gone. You know, so that's just the world we live in.
Well, JR, we appreciate your call this morning. Appreciate everyone that's chimed in. We've got I'm sorry if I wasn't able to get to your text because we got about 75. We got plenty of calls as well. I think it's more than that.
I mean, text. I think it's loaded up. So, but a lot of people are passionate about it. I mean, we want to protect our own, and Darian Ford's one of our own. He's us. He's an Arkansan, and we always come to the defense of Arkansas. But then on the other side of it, we talk out of the other side of our mouth, and hey, we want Muss to win and win now, and go to the Phoenix next year and be in the Final Four and do whatever it takes to do that. We want to sit here one day and say, man, Muss is the greatest evaluator of talent we've ever seen since Naismith came up with the rule book. I mean, we can't have it one way, and then when he evaluates the talent and decides he needs to make a change, well, this isn't right. We can't have it both ways. So is it in Muss we trust? Is that how we're rolling? Or, hey, we want to take care of the in-state kids at all costs? I mean, that's kind of where this topic comes down to.
You can still agree with someone. You can still see someone's a good coach, but you don't have to agree with every one of their decisions. And this one, I'm on the other side of it, which is fine. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying that he's not doing great here because you'd be a moron if you said otherwise. But I could disagree with what happened with Darian Ford. Appreciate everyone joining us here on a Fast Break Friday. We'll be back Monday at 6 a.m.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some